Natalie, can I just put something to you? There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Oh, you can't say that.
Can you not?
No, you can't. It's about enjoying something with somebody, so it's not all about money.
They might want to enjoy it a bit more than you want to enjoy it, if you know what I mean.
Well, I don't rule... I know what you're talking about, and I don't necessarily rule it out.
So right, OK, so this is a website, OK? So you go on this website called Miss Travel, and there are people there that say, I'm travelling here and I'm travelling there, I'd like a companion. So who pays for what? How does that work? So you go online, you find a gentleman who's going to take you somewhere gorgeous. Who pays for what?
OK, we do clarify about the trip and what ideas I'd like to do and what landmarks I'd like to see, and the expenses are all paid.
By him?
Of course, yeah, yeah.
But when you say of course, when you first read these, you know, there are websites where people say, oh, I'm going on a trip, I'm single, going to Patagonia, anybody fancy joining me? But everyone pays for themselves and it's literally travelling companions. So what is the difference when somebody is paying for everything for you? Because you know what the connotations are.
You say they get the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, a lot of the time I do pay for half of the trip. There's an option where you can pick 50-50, so I have the flexibility. If I want to leave, I can leave. So although I've never met him before, I make sure that I feel safe, and sometimes I do actually book my one-way ticket, so I'm more flexible about the trip, so I can go and meet the guy, the accommodation, all expenses and excursions that I'd like to do.
Yeah.
So
do you lay out your conditions? So Fred in Florida or something says, yeah, come over, I've got a yacht and I've got a fabulous house and I'll take you around everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you say, well, I want to see this and I want to see that and I want my own bedroom? Do you tell them the deal, basically?
Yeah, I do, actually, yeah. I'm quite strong and independent. I do lay down the rules, because at the end of the day, I want to feel safe. I'm travelling to a completely different country I've never been to before.
Which, of course, most people would say, oh, are you mad? If
are
you were my
crazy?
daughter,
Yeah.
I would say, what on earth are you doing? You don't know this person, you've spoken to them online.
Yeah, but that's the exciting part for me, and that's something you've never seen before.
Is it not dangerous? It's dangerous. Surely you don't know these men.
Yeah, but I can feel it inside. If I feel safe, I want to see their ID, I want to Skype beforehand. Sometimes they give me a video of their where they live.
But we know lots of people online pretend they're someone else, don't they? So have you ever found yourself in a situation when you've got somewhere and it was not at all what you were expecting? The man doesn't look the same, he doesn't live where he said he lived, or hasn't got any money?
No, not really. I haven't really had any bad experiences, to be honest. If I do feel slightly worried, like that would be natural, I do book a hotel not far from there. I check the embassy, I have a contact telephone number, and I tell someone where I'm going.
You sound sensible, but as Eamon said...
Yeah, you feel that men have spent around £60,000 on your company.
I'd say money well spent.
But why would it be money well spent?
What are they getting out of it?
OK, for example, somebody would like to go and see a landmark and they don't want to go on their own, it's boring. I've never seen that landmark before. Would you want to take someone from your own country, from the same street?
Your wife?
You want to experience
somebody who you're married to, do you want to do that?
Or you want to experience a British single female that wants to have fun and has, like, so much... You know, I want to...
Well, you obviously find you're very up there, you're very gorgeous. So what are these men expecting? They must be expecting something in return, if you know what I mean.
You're so cynical, Ruth.
There might be children watching, so I'm very careful. Are they expecting something in return? And
do they get it?
Do they get it?
OK, well, if they are looking for that something, they are on the wrong website, obviously, because this website is about travel. I truly believe it's travel, and that's my passion, to travel.
Have you ever slept with any of them?
I wouldn't really like to answer that question.
Well, that's not a no.
It's not a no.
It's not a no, OK. And is that because you felt that's what they were expecting, or that you actually really fell for someone and liked them? Or...
Yeah, I'm quite a strong person, and I don't have to do something if I don't want to do it, and I won't. But at the end of the day, these guys are very nice and they do treat me very well, and I feel very happy. So obviously after a week or so, or, you know, a few weeks with them and talking to them, I'm actually making a really good relationship with them, and things come naturally, and I do develop a relationship, and sometimes I do quite fancy them, and, you know, it's quite natural to feel love for somebody, but I do have to be quite strong because I know I'm going to leave them after a few weeks.
Is it like a job? I mean, do you see it? I mean, I know you're not having to pay for anything, so therefore, I mean, this is your income. isn't it, in a way? I mean, do you feel as if you're applying for a job, 2 weeks in Barbados or whatever? Is that...
No, it's not a job. It's about enjoying life and visiting these countries.
And do you
that I
have a
want to
job?
visit. I'm a trained beautician, yeah, I'm qualified. So for me, I do try and visit spas in each country. I'm picking up information,
Yeah.
I'm picking up experiences. So one day when I will have my salon, then I'll have all these different ideas.
Well, Natalie's
luck.
having a great time.
And
that's what
stay
she said.
safe. I hope
Yeah.
it works for,
I hope you
for
do stay
Natalie.
safe.
And it works for 615,000 members on this website. Who seem to do that. That may
But if
be
you don't want to go
the
on
future
that,
of travel.
if you don't want to do all that, have a go at our competition.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank
you.
Hello, YouTube. For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel. But when it comes to medicine for your children, vaccinations,
Yes.
you're totally against this.
Yeah, I actually believe childhood disease is quite important to experience to build the child's immunity. And Ulysses has experienced scarlet fever and chickenpox, and we treated that naturally.
Your IQ is 145.
Wow.
Your IQ is considered, on paper, to be a genuine genius IQ. When did you know that you had this gift?
I don't really know, I can't remember, but I just remember Mum is like, she has always been clever, my parents.
How much you pay him to say that? Come on.
Not as clever as you, though.
No, but I think they realised it before me. I don't know when, I think they told me before I really knew, because I've always noticed that I've been good at maths. I've always had like a connection with numbers or something. So yeah, I don't really know when I found out, but it's just happened.
Do you find it a bit weird that everyone is so amazed by you?
Yeah.
Do you like the feeling of it?
Well, in some ways, yes, but in some ways I don't really like too much attention.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like really a lot of attention, but yeah, it's been amazing.
So you personally don't remember, but I mean, used to. When was it for you that you realised, he's got something here?
Well, go on. I think it was actually when he was quite young, because he took a real interest in jigsaws before he could talk or do anything, and he just sort of did one day, and we were like, he's a bit young to be doing that, isn't he? And we thought it may have been a fluke in some way, but then we got in more, you know, higher age groups, and he just did them so fast, almost without thinking. And I think at that point we thought, yeah, I think he's going to be good at problem solving and numbers, and he enjoyed numbers. It wasn't a chore for him. He would play with them and write and do all sorts of different things. So.
'Cause I know that both of you are actually teachers. Tim, you're a teacher, and you're a teacher, Kelly. Do you think that helped at all, the fact that you enjoyed work and doing things with him?
I think we've given him a good example. We've taken academic studies seriously, and obviously he sees us working at home, preparing lessons and doing marking and things, and he would take that and in his own play would play at schools and things with his toys, and then when his younger sister came along, teach her that as well. So yeah, I think we've given him a good example.
Do you think this could be taught to anybody? Because I want some tips. I've got a 12-year-old, and I don't think he's at your standard yet.
Nearly, very close.
Hey, can you be
Very
taught?
close.
Can this be taught, do you think?
As a teacher, yes.
Yeah.
But as a mother...
Yeah, two sides really. I don't see that it's inherited. People say, oh, it comes from your parents, but I don't think it's genetic. I think it's environmental. I think he grew up in a household that enjoys learning, fosters learning, and just encouraged him. If he liked something, we just did more of it with him. It wasn't rocket science, I have to say.
A lot of people, especially when you watch Child Genius, especially, a lot of people say it's the parents that are pushing this onto the child. And in all fairness, I won't mention names, but we have seen in past series, there has been quite a few pushy parents. They've been quite open and honest about that. What would you say to people that would say this is used to, pushing him to do that?
No, not at all. We've never, ever pushed him. One of the things we've always done, I mean, you know, pushy parents, they have their reasons for doing that. That's absolutely fine. But we haven't. We say we encourage him, but he's never, ever been pushed to do anything he doesn't want to do.
We have not been briefed on this whatsoever. I've been told that you've got some questions for us.
OK,
You can help me. I'm going to get my little pencil out. That's not even sharpened. That's not a good start. I won't look at yours. OK, so go on, Josh. Go for it.
OK, so question 1.
Yeah.
How do you spell logorrhea?
Logorrhea.
Ooh, is that an illness?
Can I put it on the paper first?
Yeah.
OK, I'm going to go for L-O-G-A-R-I-A.
No.
And I'm going to go for L-O-G-E-R-H-E-A-H.
That was close.
Oh!
But no. It was L-O-G-O-R-R-H-E-A.
See, I put H on the end as well. Nearly.
There was a H in it.
Right, it's 0-0, 0-0. Next one.
OK, question 2. A cricket ball is bowled at a velocity of 43 metres per second. Calculate in metres how far it travels in half a second.
Calculate in...
Metres.
4.2 metres.
Incorrect.
21.5 metres per second?
Correct.
Yeah!
Are you joking?
No, it's just half at 43.
Oh, right, OK.
See, Scarlett, we're good.
OK, let's skip to the Japanese question.
OK.
Go on.
Japanese.
What does this phrase, konnichiwa genki desu ka, mean in Japanese?
Hello, how are you?
Correct.
Oh, my God, do another one. I'm doing well. I'm doing well with Scarlett.
So, for question 5...
Oh, he's got up.
It's on the blackboard. So, if A is 20, B is 5 and C is 42, what is the value of B, C minus A minus 11?
99.
Correct.
You are joking! No! You did that so quick. You were given the answers.
Can someone please confirm if I've been given the answers? Thank you very much. They're shocked as well. Scarlett, you're my good luck charm. You
did
come
well.
here.
You're like a genius.
I can't believe it.
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us. We've got a little bit of a favour.
I can show my workings if anyone don't believe me. I can show my workings.
He's come face to face with some terrifying creepy crawlies and braved even the most brutal of bush tucker trials.
But all of that paled in insignificance to the mammoth mission that our Sam put himself through last week, travelling 260 miles from London to Old Trafford to deliver this year's Soccer Aid match ball in time for kick-off.
He had to dig deep to push through what was the toughest challenge of his life, but push through he did, and we honestly couldn't be prouder of him. Here's a reminder of Sam's incredible achievement.
Let's go, Sam!
Guess who's joining you on your next peg?
No, you're not.
No, I'm actually not.
Look what you've done, Sam! I was absolutely fine for the first, 35, and then my calf popped.
God, the rain's just coming in now. It's not quite the sunshine you had yesterday. I just want to tell you how much money you've actually raised. Currently, and climbing, it's £153,000.
Come on, Love you, Cat, so much.
Oh, we love you right back. Keep going, mate. You can do it.
I've got an update on the donations for you. £337,288.26.
Oh, my God!
You are remarkable. You have raised 900...
I'm really struggling today, man.
I've got nothing left.
£1,516,433.22 so far. Yes.
Oh, the conquering hero!
Well, Well done, mate. Look, I've thrown my glass at you. I'm so excited.
It's making me... I've got to stop crying. It makes me so
You need to
emotional.
rehydrate just because of so much tears.
So many tears, man. I just want to say, actually, from the start, mate, thank you so much for all your support. It was every time I saw you, and I heard you, it was literally just, it was like, it made me so emotional. So I really, really, really appreciate it. And Ben, obviously, on day one, mate, you turning up, I just tore my calf at that point, and I was so down. So I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I know that I've got so far ahead of me. And you have the strongest mentality. And Ben turns up and he's literally like, mate, one foot in front of the other. You're not completing this. And like, he just like, I needed someone who's not gonna mollycoddle me. And you were just the perfect guy for that. It was just, I'm so grateful.
So it was a really, I could tell how low you were because all the planning, all the expectation, all the hope, and you'd had this injury. Day one, it just came out of nowhere that was significantly worse, as we found out through the week, than we thought initially, even then. There was still a hope that actually it was maybe just a strain, but it was a proper tear. And it's just about breaking it down, isn't it, into small chunks. Don't think of it as a big journey.
It's the line, not the time.
Yeah.
That's what Ben kept
He
on
remembers,
saying.
he remembers.
But when you sort of talked about it, Sam, you trained for it, how had the reality of it, how does it compare, do you think?
It doesn't compare at all. It feels like a dream and a slight nightmare. But yeah, it's all the training, you don't really know what you're training for almost, because I'm just doing some running and some biking and we'll just see what happens. It's nothing like it. You've got the team surrounding you. We filmed a doc, by the way, which is coming out actually this Friday.
It'll be on a Friday.
And like, so you've got a van in front of you the entire time with a camera sticking out the boot of the van, filming all your highs and lows. You've got, people all around you, people beeping their horns at you, and you can't really prepare for anything like that. And
it's quite overwhelming, isn't it?
It's really overwhelming, but in the most beautiful way. It brings so many people together, and I actually was just saying to Ben off air that you feel a bit flat afterwards almost, because you're like, you miss the entire team and you miss that bubble almost.
The connection.
Yeah, there's so much connection.
And I think that's the thing, it just moves people. Every time someone new turned up, from Ben to your brother-in-law to like Pete, when you guys got together, and then we had Orlando in the studio. He sent you that message, and then we had to call him makeup, didn't we, to dry all his tears, because he was like, he's such a good man, he's such a... I mean, to have that level of support must have been amazing.
This sounds so cringy, but I really do mean this. I think it shows the power of friendship. Because, and I honestly, wholeheartedly believe in this, that I'm quite like a glass person. Like, I'm actually not the strongest person, as we've seen. But I'm the luckiest person to have the support network around me. I didn't complete this. Everyone around me completed it for me. Like, everybody, like, showing up, from my family to my friends and stuff, was the only thing that got me through it, and I'm really, really fortunate.
There was an amazing team on the road with you as well.
Yeah.
They were there all the step away. Like, few of us drafted in and out, but there was an amazing team, wasn't there?
It was so great, man. Gary, the physio, was such a good guy.
He kept you together. You got Taylor, the running coach. Tracy was on the bike with you.
Tracy is the most just empathetic but strong-willed person I think I've ever met. And then the UNICEF team as well, like, remembering why you're doing it, and like always reminding myself like who is out there and who we're trying to help, and the donations.
Mate, one of the things that we loved were all the surprises that you kept getting. So we've got a little surprise for you today.
Oh God, no more surprises.
Because she's come in to see you, especially to celebrate.
Yes!
No, you're going to cry again. I'm so sorry.
Tracy, have a sit down, have a sit down.
This
is Tracy, who was every pedal step alongside Sam on the route. What was it like for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, what a guy to do a challenge with, I mean, he just literally gave his all from start to finish. I mean, you couldn't ask for more from you.
No, Trace is a machine.
Yeah.
Do you know, there was a moment on Thursday where I didn't speak to Tracy for over an hour. Because I had gone really, really dark. And Trace just turns to me and goes, whatever you're channeling right now, keep doing it. I'm not going to speak to you for an hour. And we just put our head down we cycled together.
In silence.
In silence for over an hour. And I just burst into tears at the end of it and hugged Tracy. And it was just such a magical experience.
It really was, wasn't it? And it was so emotional because, like, every time that there was quiet, I thought, should I be worried because he's quite obviously sort of like, you know, concentration on the main road, and you just literally, I thought, no, he's got this.
You've got to chew the miles sometimes.
Yeah,
You've got to get them under your belt. But that second day, though, Tracy, have you ever cycled in rain like that?
Oh, my God, it was apocalyptic. Like, literally, I mean, you could not see. We were trying to talk. My lips were numb. You just stood there and I thought, oh, my God, could we actually get any worse? And it was awful. I mean, we had to stop because it was too dangerous.
It was too dangerous. That's the point. Even the weather was conspiring against you. Despite all of those things, you did it. Thank you, Tracy, for being there with him, lockstep, and keeping him going. Thank you to all the team, as you say, to Gary the physio, who somehow put you back together every day, Taylor, who was running with you. It's just, we're so proud of you, Sam.
Thank you so much for everyone who donated as well. I mean, my God, every single time we got those donations sort of run through, it was just
another boost. Just another boost up, wasn't it? It was
it was such a boost. And it was just so beautiful. So thank you, anybody who donated. You literally are the heroes to the story.
And you can still keep donating.
Yes, you can.
Now. Donating to Sam's matchball mission is simple.
Yeah, to give 20, 30 or £10, just text 30, 20 or 10 to 70822. Text costs you a donation plus one standard rate message.
You must be 16 or over and please ask the bill payer's permission.
You can donate online. The websites are shown on screen. 100% of your donation will go to UNICEF. Every donation, we doubled up to £5 million thanks to the Children's Investment Fund Foundation, which is amazing.
Soccer Aid for UNICEF 2025 airs live Sunday, the 15th of June, 6 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX.
And you can see Sam's documentary, Sam Thompson's Matchball Mission, on Friday at 9 o'clock, ITV1 and ITVX.
Yes,
I had to tell him about it. I had to tell him about it. Good, so proud of you, mate. Well done.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Tracy, for you. Oh, hello. Thanks for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Now, after being offered some work experience in a West End hotel, Sam Inez jumped at the chance.
Sam, who has Down syndrome, was given the opportunity as part of the Down Syndrome Association's WorkFit programme to work at the prestigious Waldorf Hilton. He impressed so much that he landed a permanent role.
Sam and his super proud mum, Roz, are here alongside Lydia Herridge-Ishak from the WorkFit programme. Good morning to you all. Good morning. How are you, Sam?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you for joining us this morning. So, you studied hospitality at college, is that correct?
At college, I studied retail, but at school, I did hospitality.
OK, so that was something that you always wanted to get into. That was your dream?
Yes, it was a dream. And I like to watch many things with Jeffson.
OK.
Was that what? So what was it about hospitality that you got really excited by? What do you love about it?
I love the whole idea that it's customer-facing. I also really just enjoy making sure that the guests have a perfect service to what they are wanting, given it is a prestigious hotel in its own right.
Yeah.
Yes. So you work at the Waldorf at the moment. What's your typical day?
My typical... I would go into the kitchen and help make the hot drinks, serve them, as well as help clear and set tables, interact with guests, and set up for a afternoon tea.
What's a lovely thing is that as anybody who's been lucky enough to stay in any hotel where there are teams of brilliant workers like you want the stay to be the best it can possibly be. To hear you say that's your big drive here is making sure the guests have the perfect experience. It's such a wonderful thing. You were born to do this sort of stuff. What's it like when you're able to chat with the guests, Sam, and to know that you've had a positive impact on their day?
It feels amazing that I've given them a positive impact on their day. And I know they'll come back based on the good service as well.
Roz, you must be extremely proud.
I'm so proud. I can't tell you. When he was born, I didn't know whether he'd walk or talk, and he's always just totally surpassed our expectations. So.
But also to seem so happy and thriving in life and succeed.
Fairly independent.
Yes.
He doesn't live at home. He lives in his own flat in supported living. Yeah.
But it must have been difficult as well, and this would have been difficult for Sam too, but Roz, must have been difficult for you to see Sam go through school, go through college, and then really struggle to find that next step You know, because clearly he's got bags of potential, he's got loads of personality. He's doing an incredible job now that he's found an employer that was willing to sort of embrace, you know, who he is. But that must be so frustrating.
It's really, I think, for all parents of people with special needs, the jump from leaving college or school to what on earth's going to happen with the rest of their life is really sort of stressful and difficult. And you just suddenly all the sort of support networks go away and you don't know what's going to happen. And Sam kept applying for things, but nothing much happened. And then we got in touch with WorkFit, actually, and a lovely lady called Alison Thwaite said, send me your CV, did a Zoom call with us, and then got in touch and said, I think there's this opportunity at the Hilton, which would be good for Sam. And I said, no, the Waldorf, far too fancy hotel. They'll look down on him. It's 45 minutes on the bus from home. Can't possibly. And she said, well, go and meet them. And here we are.
Wow. And you don't just love what you do, Sam, as well. It's also affected all the other aspects of your life. You travel on the bus by yourself. You live by yourself too.
Yes. And I'm enjoying having that extra bit of independence that work in the Waldorf Hilton has helped.
Yeah.
Lydia, talk a little bit about this work programme that you helped Sam through and how you are helping other people.
Yes, so the WorkFit programme is the Down Syndrome Association Supported Employment Programme. So we're really that in-between to connect employers like Hilton and many others with candidates like Sam and all the people that we support. And our support's very personalised. It's very tailored to each individual. It's it's not one size fits all, of course. So we're there to support the employers. We're looking at what are those roles, who's the team, what's the location, the logistics of all of it, and then work with individuals to see what is it that you actually want to do. Have you got any past experience? If you haven't, that's fine. Let's look at what you're interested in. What's home life like? What's everything that goes into going to work that we all have to kind of consider. But we're sort of that place for people to come to have those conversations and to start them.
Are you finding that there are employers out there that are looking to try and help in this region as well? And because your WorkFit programme exists, they can come to you and say, right, we want to find some workers like Sam. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly what is happening. Because we're a place you can go to, we're a place where you can find that information, you can find that support. We find a lot of employers who contact us, they're really excited, they are really, really wanting to do this, they just don't know what to do next. Yeah. What is that next step? So that's really where we come in to just talk it through, think about those reasonable adjustments and just, I suppose, just instill that confidence internally with employers so that, one goes well and it creates that ripple effect throughout, like with the Hilton. Loads more Hilton hotels get involved, and that's the same thing that happens across lots of industries.
It's so funny when you mention the internal benefits as well, because obviously we can see how much Sam loves what he does and how it affects his confidence. But also the team within the Waldorf Hiltons as well, it directly reflects back. The team love having Sam there too. Yeah. And there's this sense of camaraderie.
Completely. I think we find that with so many of the employers that we work with. We always hear people saying, when we have our catch-ups and our reviews and everything, saying, team members love going on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday or whatever day it is, and there's a real sort of a positive change within teams. It's a different dynamic that sometimes you get from them. We do find that a lot.
But Sam, your hope is that you can become a bit of a role model for other people like you who maybe are looking for some opportunity to be a bit more independent, to get into workspace, and they'll look at you and they'll go, wow, look what Sam's managed to achieve. Maybe I could do that too.
Yes. I'm happy to be a role model, and it feels good to be a role model as well.
Yeah. What would you say if there's somebody sitting at home, maybe there's a mum like Roz, who's got a child who needs a bit of support, a bit of extra help, and the young person is thinking, how do I get out and do that? What would you say to them with regards to sort of going for it and giving stuff like this a go?
I would simply say, be confident, be yourself. If you need help, ask for it.
It's a big part of it, that, as well, as Lydia was saying. There has to be adaptions, or things have to be adapted to allow for Sam and who he is and stuff. And the Waldorf Hilton have done an amazing job at making sure that he can go in and thrive and do all that. But as a parent, you're always going to worry. Like, I'll worry about my boys when they go off to work as well.
It is. I think for parents, it's a real struggle letting go, and I think we've always tried to push Sam, but I think I've also always sort of underestimated what he can do and been worried about it, and you've always just totally blown my expectations out of the water. And the Hilton were just amazing, because when Sam I think for any employer taking on someone like Sam, he can do anything, but it just takes him a little bit longer to learn. So the Hilton gave him 3 months, I think, so training that you might normally do in 2 days. They broke it down into half-hour slots for him, so he could pass you had to pass some food and hygiene exams, I think, didn't you?
Yeah.
And they sort of set up a programme so he could actually get through all that in a different way, and that was a brilliant investment, I think, on their part. And then now, you don't have any support, you don't have a buddy, you just ask for help if you need it, don't you? So actually that upfront investment of just spending a little bit more time, then the person can
everyone
go
reaps
and...
the benefits.
Yeah, everyone reaps the benefits.
Yeah.
And you now are upholding the standards at home as well, aren't you? There's Waldorf standards being implemented. Tell me what happens at Christmas.
At Christmas, I help set the table. So I will go out and eat everything up, and I do get a little upset if anyone messes up.
Perfection.
Yes, that's the thing. That's what it's drilled into you.
Perfect, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming today, and thank you for chatting to us. It's been fab to meet you. Long may your success continue, Sam. Long may it continue.
Well, look, we've got a few messages as well from some people who want to say how great they think you are.
Whenever he does come into the room, he always brings brightness with him. You can see the team, how their mood changes. It comes from how good he is, how positive he is. He always tries to make things right, to go above and beyond for each individual guest.
It was an amazing experience. He's an absolute tonic to start your day in the morning.
He gives to the guests all his love.
The lovely, lovely smiley face that we greeted with.
And we get absolute 5-star reviews for him.
I really look forward to his career flourishing here with us at Hilton.
Well, that's not bad, is it?
What do you think of that?
5-star review, Sam. That's impressive, no?
Yes.
Well, you've done that. You've achieved that. So congratulations on all your hard work. I don't doubt it's going to stop. You need to keep it up now.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. It's lovely to meet you. Roz, thank you for bringing in and sharing this amazing story.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how full of pride you are right now. As well.
Aww.
Lydia, thank you.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
All of that is the most wonderful time of the year, unless, of course, you happen to be a turkey.
Welcome to the most this morning item we could ever do at Christmas. Our first guest today, Dave Brooker, and his best friend, T2 the turkey. Now, they've been inseparable since T2 hatched 3 years ago. T2 now goes everywhere with Dave, from the pub to the dentist, even sharing his bedroom.
But as it's Christmas time, T2 only has one wish, and that is to stay out of the oven. So, to prove that Christmas dinner tables can be a safe place for turkeys, we've invited T2 to join us for a festive lunch this morning. Good morning.
Poultry. This is a poultry-free zone, Dave.
Brilliant.
Do not worry. Do we use the C word around?
Well, I use it as a joke often. So many people say, I wish you for Christmas. And I'm like, you've just said the C word. That's very rude.
We don't use the C word, no.
Oh, well, good morning, T2.
Hey,
good morning
T2.
to you, Dave.
So chilled, Dave. Look, she's almost asleep.
But she's used to everything. She's used to, going out to the pub and with children running around.
So where did all this start? Where did it begin?
Well, her mum was sitting on 12 eggs, and unfortunately the first 2 that hatched, it was July, but it was in English July, and it was cold, and they perished. So I set up a brooder with a heat lamp, and she was the first one that hatched.
So did she sort of imprint on you then, Dave? Is that what happens?
Yeah. When I went to put all the chicks back under the mum when they were strong enough to deal with the weather, she kept coming running back out to me.
She thought you were a mummy.
Parent in modern day.
Yeah, all right, yeah, parent, sort of daddy.
A very fluid household at Dave's house.
But yeah,
Dave, are you a turkey farmer?
No.
So how come? So do you keep them or like?
I've got I share sort of another 11 turkeys with where I've got my horses.
Right. Okay. So you've got horses,
I got into them on a lady's small holding, but I just keep them for their eggs because their eggs are delicious.
Yeah.
You are like Dr. Dolittle, aren't you?
I am, yes. 2 horses, 11 turkeys, and a few chickens.
So were you a vegetarian before?
No.
T2 came into your life?
Actually, I wasn't even a vegetarian until I came on the show last year.
Really?
And it was talking to Josie and Alison that convinced me, I really don't need to eat meat.
Well, they used to eat meat.
They asked the question, and I thought, what? She's so intelligent and so, it just makes you realise how intelligent animals are.
Well, she's such a companion for you, isn't she?
What is it that you just obsessed with her about? Like, what is it what is the love? Like, does she give you cuddles or?
Yeah, no, she definitely will.
Does she?
Yeah, no, she'll fall asleep on you with her neck, so her head right in your neck here. Just fall asleep.
Very, very the most chilled out turkey I've ever met. Not that I've met a lot of turkeys, but she's very chilled, isn't she?
She
has her moments.
Does she?
Yes.
When does she get a little?
Well, she likes to. I think flock animals, they can be quite dominant at times. They want to protect their territory as well. And there's a couple of people at the horses that she enjoys trying to bully, and she will chase them.
Is she quite dominant over you then?
No.
Oh right, okay.
No, we've got a mutual respect for each other.
So how does the day-to-day work? Because she lives in your house, right?
She lives in the house, yes.
So you get up in the morning. Do you have shower together? And,
No. She'll go
like
downstairs.
A shower herself?
No, she goes.
Bath?
No, she goes downstairs. She has her breakfast, which is a bit of mixed corn and some water, while I get ready. She sleeps on a blanket up in my bedroom.
Lovely.
She doesn't get off of that blanket till I get up in the morning, whether it be 7 in the morning or 9 in the morning.
She is like a dog, isn't she?
Yeah,
is she house trained then, Dave? Or?
Yeah.
Unfortunately not, no.
Oh, no.
But plenty of tissue and antibacterial spray.
Yeah.
Where does she do her business? Like, just anywhere she wants?
I'm afraid. That's why, everywhere I go, I take a blanket to be respectful for people.
Now, you might be a vegetarian, but she isn't a vegetarian,
no,
correct?
She's definitely not.
What is on her diet? What does she like?
She definitely likes a nice spider, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So my house is very free of spiders. For anyone with spider phobias...
I'm going to get one.
Turkeys are your answer.
Oh, yeah,
and then in terms of, like, the more unusual food that she might enjoy, what does she...
She's been eating mince pie this morning. She loves a little bit of mince pie pastry. She will eat cheddar cheese.
She likes a Guinness as well, doesn't she?
She does sometimes like a Guinness.
Do you take her to the pub with you as well, then?
Yes.
Does she do the thing where she sits on the... Does she have her own stool?
She will sit on a stool, but generally I put her on a blanket on the floor or actually on the table itself.
And then does she do a pint, or does she, like...
no, she'll just sit
instead of a bowl?
She'll just sit mine, or I'll put it into a little dog bowl for her.
What do people say when they, when they see you out with a turkey? Because it's not the usual, is it? What do people... Do they stop and say, what's this all about?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, I'd probably say about 95% of people are lovely. They're like, oh, wow. I mean, some people walk past you and don't even notice you're carrying her, which is great. But a lot of people, they just stop, especially children. Only the other night I was standing outside a supermarket because the staff wanted to see her and they hadn't seen her, so I took her round to the front. And there was a lady with her daughter there, and her daughter just was absolutely made up with her, and coming over and stroking her. Some children are quite scared, though, because they can look quite dinosaur-y.
Yeah.
But
really
the general reaction is really positive.
So, Dave, talk us through Christmas at your house.
Christmas Day...
Don't say it too loud, Dave. Shh.
Well, I mean, this year, we're going to be up nice and early. Tito will probably have a couple of presents or some extra snacks. And then we're going to be getting ready, and we're going to be going and doing parkrun this year on Christmas
Oh,
Day.
lovely stuff. But hang on, does she do the running?
Well, she's going to do about the last 10 metres, because it wouldn't be fair to expect her with her little legs to run 5K.
Yeah, pretty fast, though, turkeys, when they want to be, aren't they?
They can be. But she will be doing, hopefully, the last 10 metres, just to finish, and I'll be pushing her in a buggy.
And Dave, you've credited T2 as helping with your anxiety and everything, haven't you? How's she helped you?
I mean, obviously, with a lot of things, especially Christmas time, can be a very poignant time for loneliness, especially if you're single. Yeah. But Animals are just a great way, even if you're feeling down, they still give you the love, and you get back from them what you give them.
Yeah.
And the really great thing is she doesn't tell my secrets.
Oh, right, you've got many
Very
of
good
them?
at... No, I haven't got many
Oh, right.
No.
Well, come on, Dave,
but
dig deeper.
she doesn't tell my secrets out, you know. You can say whatever you want to her and she keeps it.
And she doesn't argue? No arguing
Well,
back?
she can do.
Oh,
There is
really?
something special
She
about
can
that, though, isn't
peck really quite hard, actually, sometimes.
All right.
When she wants something and you're not letting her have it, she can actually get quite sort of pecky, especially on your ankle, and that hurts.
Oh, right, OK.
There is something... Have you got any pets?
Not at the moment, but I'm going to get
Horses?
some.
You got horses?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
There is something...
It's a work in progress.
You've grown up around them, right?
Yeah,
So you get it.
yeah.
There is something special about animals, especially when you're, like, just that one-on-one contact you have with them.
Do you know what? It's when you lose an animal, it really stays with you. Like, it really does. And I still think about my dog today. So to get another dog, it'd have to be very, very special. And it's like T2. She's obviously so special to you.
I mean, last year she got quite ill, and she was at the vets quite a bit, and we actually thought she might have been not make it, but the vets were brilliant. And
she's 3, right? And you were telling me they would normally live to about 8 or 9.
They can do, yeah, little between 8 and 10 years old.
Yeah.
So, but she actually has an implant to stop her laying eggs.
Oh, I see.
Because that's what was making her ill.
And what are you getting T2 for Christmas, Dave?
Well, all of her favourite treats, really. You know, she'll get spoiled rotten and get all her favourite treats. So, but I don't think there's anything. She gets whatever she wants anyway.
What do you get? What do you get the turkey that's got everything?
I mean,
hey?
You know, she might get a new blanket because she goes through them quite a bit. A nice Christmassy
Dave,
blanket.
thank you so
Dave,
much.
thank you.
Thank you, T2.
Nice to meet you, T2.
The most gentle, loving turkey I've ever met in my life. Gobble, gobble.
I love the way you say that. How many turkeys have you met? Have you spent much time around the turkey fraternity?
Not this much time, no. But I do like her. She's got a nice energy about
nice
her.
vibe
She's
to her,
got a lovely vibe, yeah. And thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
With fraud making up over 40% of all the crimes in the UK, and only 1 in 1,000 cases ending up in a conviction, is more important than ever to help protect yourself from scammers.
Yeah, and with that, worries that scams are only set to increase and become more sophisticated. What can we do to keep our money and all of our details safe?
Yeah, scam expert Nick Stapleton joins us now.
Morning, Nick.
Nick, I mean, it feels like we are living in a world where we've constantly got to be aware now of these scams. They are getting so sophisticated. I just can't get my head around some of them sometimes. And, you know, these are not just individuals anymore. These are massive companies. But how long have you been doing this for now, Nick? And what drew you into it?
So I've been investigating the world of scams and fraud, either by doing undercover inside companies who are trying to steal people's money, or now by doing this brand of kind of ethical hacking and investigative journalism, essentially for about the last 11 years.
Right.
And it's made it very clear to me that there's one thing that all of us need to do, and it's actually sort of clue ourselves up about this and really learn how to protect ourselves. Because unfortunately, as that 1 in every 1,000 conviction rate shows, this is a really complicated problem for the authorities to solve, and there isn't really anybody else who's going to stop you from getting scammed or look after you. You need to do it yourself.
What do we need to watch out for, Nick? Because 1 minute it's, excuse me, it's the dodgy text messages you get, click on this link, it could be an email. Now we're going into the realms of phone calls being made, people answering their phones, giving their details over the phone because they're claiming it's the bank. They're so sophisticated, like Joseph said, a lot more people that think they're savvy to this are falling for it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think there's been a huge change in the kind of people who are targeted by this kind of thing. Yeah. I think most of us in the UK tend to think, oh, this is vulnerable, often elderly members of our population who are being targeted by scams. That, I'm afraid, is simply not true. If you look at the statistics behind scams at the moment, it's actually 16 to 34-year-olds who are being targeted the most and who are actually losing the most money as well. And when you think about it, that does make sense. 16 to 34-year-olds are much more likely to be better connected to the internet, for example, and that makes them quicker to defraud. They might also be in more competent control of some kind of digital finances, like online online banking, whereas somebody who is in their 70s or their 80s may require, for example, a trip to the bank to be able to actually steal their money. So if you're a very clever scammer and you can work out how to make someone who's 16 to 34 give you their money, it's much easier to take it than it is from someone who's more elderly.
So you've been doing this for 11 years. So from when you started out to now, how sophisticated has this become?
It's completely changed, I would say. So obviously, there have always been companies that are just set up for the sole purpose of trying to scam people out of money. But what's changed, particularly since the pandemic, is that this is now a global thing. And it's not just people in the UK, companies in the UK who are trying to take your money. It is large businesses all over the world, often with hundreds of employees, their own IT departments, their own HR, running a payroll, who are doing a bit of legitimate business, but then have scammers working in that same building, and they're using that to launder the money that they make from scams so that no one can basically track them down. Makes the authorities' job much harder. And that means that the scale of scams and fraud has just massively exploded since the pandemic, particularly.
But there's a lot of money behind this, isn't there? This isn't just someone sat in a room ringing up Brenda going, give me your bank details. It's proper full-scale operations. So obviously you say it's quite difficult for these people to be tracked down, it's difficult for them to be convicted. But this is a full-on organisation, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is an industry, and that's the way I want people to think about it. I think when we think about the image of a scammer in our minds, most of us, as you say, will think of a
scary person down the phone.
Hooded person on laptop, kind of hunched over a computer, making phone calls. That is just not the case. This country, potentially, in the last year, has lost £17 billion to scams and fraud. Ridiculous. That is more than what we spend on policing. It's 4 times what we spend on prisons. That is all money that is going out of our pockets and into, essentially, the black market, never to be seen again. Now, that is costing all of us money, not just in the actual scams themselves, but then in what banks, insurance companies, etc., charge us. And it's also costing people emotionally and psychologically.
Well, yeah.
Because, unfortunately, the results of being scammed are appalling on people's mental health. And that is a massive problem as well that we need to be thinking about.
Well, there's this shame, if you've been scammed, you almost don't want to admit it.
No.
That does have a shame that comes with it. So are a lot of these crimes, are they getting reported, and have they got the infrastructure to follow these crimes up?
So they are definitely being reported, and we have evidence of just the sheer number of scams and fraud happening in this country as a result of those reports. The statistics are OK, but they're not brilliant. The problem is basically that the authorities trying to actually track down scammers have got an incredibly difficult job because of the way the internet has changed the scammers' ability to take our money. It's very easy now to be a scammer and be totally anonymous, in a completely different country. Say, for example, you got scammed of £2,000. That could be a huge amount of money to you personally. So your expectation would be that if you go to the police and report that, they're going to be able to do something about it and they're going to track down that individual. But if that person's in another country, the police are going to need to go and do some kind of international collaboration with authorities in another country. They're going to have to do a huge paper trail from bank to bank to bank to bank of all the money going back to this other place.
It's ridiculous.
Realistically, that's a lot of resources. It's probably not going to happen.
No. So what would you say is the best thing that we could do to not only just keep our money safe, but our personal details and all of the stuff that we really should be keeping to ourselves?
So my general rule is basically anything that comes out of the blue, just assume it's a scam until proven otherwise.
Right.
And verify, 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 verify. Get out there and educate yourself about the current scams that are going around and how you can protect yourself from. Be proactive about this, essentially. Don't just sit at home thinking, oh, this happens to other people, I'm going to be fine, I'm too clever, I'm too clued up.
Yeah.
The right scam on the wrong day can catch any of us, me included. And being on top of the information that's there is going to be key to making sure it doesn't happen to you.
So you're taking your Beat the Scammers on a live tour, and so people will be able to work out on how to protect themselves. Where are you starting off from, Nick?
That's right. So Stafford in February next year, and we're doing a sort of loop of the UK, and it's going to go right through to March 2025. And yeah, it's a tour that is going to take people on this journey through the world of scams and fraud. So hopefully that we can better understand exactly how this industry works. We're going to talk about current scams. We're going to talk about the weird little specialisms that certain parts of the world have acquired in the world of scams and fraud. But crucially, also, we're going to test people.
Yeah.
And there's a thing that nobody knows about How to Beat Scammers tour yet, which is that it's actually also a book. So I am writing a self-help book, which is going to accompany the tour. And it's going to be like your suit of armour against scams and fraud, basically. a compendium, like a book with everything about current scams. You can look through it, read it, hopefully learn about almost every scam that's out there and tool yourself up to fight back, basically, and try and put scammers out of business.
Well, you say, obviously, you're going to be testing people. We were sitting there this morning, and you've already said it, sat on this sofa, oh, it's not going to happen to me, and stuff like that. You've prepared a little test for us to see if we can work out if this is real or fake.
Yes, quite right. I have brought along some scam or legit sort of images for us to try out. So there's...
That could be the new This Morning game, scam
yes,
or legit.
Scam or legit. So we've got some texts, first of all. So I've got 2 texts there, both of which claim to come from NatWest. Have a little look and tell me which one you think might be the real one.
That one's this one is the real one. Our security team have tried to contact you regarding online account login via that one's the real one, I think.
I'm sorry to tell you, Josie, you're wrong.
What the? Oh no!
That one's the scam.
You scammed.
And this one is the legit one. And I think it's doubly difficult to tell, partly because it's very easy for scammers to effectively spoof the name of the person that the text is coming from. So if you look, it's capitalised on the scam side, and on the actual real one, it's not capitalised at all, which I found very strange. Who knows why that happened? But this real one is saying to you that you've had some dodgy transactions and they've blocked your card, basically, and that they're going to contact you on this specific number. So obviously, you would then get a text from your bank saying these transactions have happened. If this wasn't you, you know,
press Y.
Exactly.
Plus, also with that first one, that's telling you to go to a link.
Exactly, Roland. That is it. So the link is the clue that that's a scam. Never be clicking through on these links that come in unsolicited messages like that, even if you do think it's your bank. And if you're not sure, basically just give your bank a call, talk to them about it.
We got any more?
No. Yes, we do. We've got an email as well.
Oh, there you are.
There's a picture of me. So this is emails from a big Chinese online shop called Shein. And on the left there is one. And on the right, there is another.
Oh,
so,
OK, they're 2 different ones.
Again, which one do you think is which? So
it's a shame, hurry up, number of prizes for one is limited. Right, so the one on the right is giving hurry up now, do it now, which is hurry up, the number of prizes to be won is limited, confirm now. So that's sort of like persuading you, oh, I better press it beforehand. Whereas the one on the left is you're only 1 click away. So I'd say the one on the left's real and the one on the right's a bit hurry up and press me.
He's pretty good at this.
God, you are very good.
Going on tour in February.
So Ryland's right. The one on the left is the legit email and the one on the right is indeed a scam. And it's actually trying to get you to go and do this kind of like a survey, which will then lead to you putting personal information in at the end in order to get a prize. So it's just an information gathering exercise by scammers. The first one is essentially just an email from them confirming that you've joined as a member.
And I know it sounds silly as well, but like the overlay on that of like the phone and things like that, you're losing the text in there. That would never come out from a company where it's like customer feedback as always, blah, blah, blah.
You make a good point. You make a good point. So scammers obviously not quite as good at laying out emails as real companies are. So that would also be a giveaway.
I would definitely. I would not know the difference whatsoever.
It can be really, really difficult. And I think this last one's really interesting as well because this is such a common scam.
Okay.
So these are called blue screen of deaths. They're error messages that you get on a Windows computer very, very commonly. If something's gone very wrong, screen goes totally blue.
I think I know this one anyway.
You think you know which one's which?
I think the one on the right's the real one because it's saying Control-Delete to restart, which is definitely the formula to restart your computer. This one here is saying you're infected with many Trojans, firewalls at 5%. It's like scaremongering again.
Exactly, spot on. It's trying to get you to do something as well. It's trying to panic you into doing something you shouldn't do, which is basically to call a number. Whereas the one on the right's just saying, something bad's happened, but don't worry, just press this and everything's going to be OK.
Yeah.
So it's the slightly kind of alarmist tone of that one on the left that gives it away, as well as this number that's come out that's saying, call our certified technicians on this. No, don't do it.
Plus, that looks like a pop-up. The one on the left. That looks very pop-up-y that you just get when you go on the internet.
I'm glad to see you're on top of this, Roland.
I'm actually the one behind it. No, I'm joking. It's not me. I promise you, it's not me. It's not me. But I love all that.
I'd actually be... I'm really shocked here because I thought I'd be really good at this and every single one of them would have scammed me, so that is a bit of a worry.
Well, it's really important to engage with this stuff. And I think, as you said before, there is this kind of shame around it, which is just... So it's so upsetting because... And this is the thing I say that kind of annoys people the most. Don't say, how could people be so stupid? Don't say, how can people be so gullible? Because you are contributing to people feeling that shame and not wanting to engage with the information that's out there. We don't victim blame. That's not a thing that we do in our society anymore. And yet with scams, it's still happening. Why is that the case? It's completely unacceptable and I really wish people would stop doing it.
OK, well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, yeah.
You do look like your dad.
Oh, thank you.
You do look like
I'll take that as a compliment. From here
Stapleton.
upwards,
Yeah, you are like him, yeah.
Dad's sides. Nick, good luck with the tour. Good luck with the book.
Yeah.
Enjoy it all, and thanks for teaching us how to avoid scams.
Really appreciate it.
Very
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
So it was my 22nd birthday. Obviously for the bank holiday I'd been home previously celebrating, but I had to come back up to London with my best friend Sophie. So, you know, we had a friend call up that day and said, you know, we've got a table, you know, come down to the club, and that's exactly what we did.
And you were about to leave, weren't you?
Yeah, so honestly, you know, the club was busy, it was packed, you know, you could barely move, and honestly, it got to about 1:45, you know, and I'd been out the night before and I was quite ready to, you know, to move on, you know, go get something to eat. And we kind of went back and sat down and got a bit distracted talking to our friends as we were staying with him. So we were going to get a key. And as I bent down, you know, that's when the acid hit. Nothing blisters that quick. Like the smell from the first bout of it coming, the steam off the floor, the smell, you know, and as soon as I touched my neck, it was, in 10 seconds, you know, skin was coming off in my hands. Like, oh my gosh.
So you were rushed into the loo to pour
So
water
my
on your
friend
face.
pulled me to the side and, you know, just literally drenched me in water, and I think that kind of set off a panic in the bathroom because, you know, girls would just say, like, you know, your neck, and I was like, you know, I can see, like, and I just, at that moment in time, anywhere I was sitting, I was just ripping off blisters, like, I just think you're in so much pain. My first thought was I need to stop this.
And you got separated from your friend Sophie, who was upstairs at this point. So when you came out the bathroom, you went upstairs, and the sight that you saw there, you said it was like a war zone. There was just people everywhere.
So I was taken to this room above the club, and yeah, I remember walking out and just remember, obviously, now I know, you know, the people it was thrown at, their heads in the sink. And I just remember, I can remember one in particular, like his cheek just hanging, like, honestly, just a layer of skin had, like, slid, and it was just hanging. And then I just remember turning round, and I remember it so clearly because I just stopped, and I was like, you know, my best friend was there just saying, Lauren, like, you know, what's my face? And I'm sat there saying, you know, I can't panic, I can't cry, you know. And I just said to her, and I said, I'm really sorry, you know, it's acid. And obviously the next thing for me is our parents are 2 hours away in Bournemouth. You know, I've got to make that phone call, and she's just saying, don't tell my mum just yet. It's better to go with the full story. So from there, that's when I made that call to my mum, and I'm a triplet, so, you know, my mum is always at the end of the line if anything happens. And
a late-night phone call from one of your children is going to alert you.
With my dad next to her in bed, you know, I made that call, and I just said, Mum, whatever I'm about to tell you right now, you have to promise me you're not going to panic. And she was like, what do you mean? She was like, tell me. And I was like, promise me now. It's like, you're going to make it worse if you panic. And I was like, I'm going to be fine. She was like, Lauren, what do you mean? And I just said, Mum, I think we've been involved in an acid attack. And I was like, you know, I'm fine. It's like, I was like, immediately knew I was going to have scars, and, you know, but minimal. But I was like, don't worry about me. But I was like, you know, that's when I kind of broke down to her, and I said, I'm really worried about Sophie. It's her face, Mum. I was like, it's her whole face, and it's her shoulder. And I was like, it's really quite bad.
Yeah. And what injuries did you sustain?
So I sustained injuries to my neck, mainly to my tummy, to my chest, to my legs and my feet.
And you say the thing is with these types of scars is that it's not like a broken bone. It doesn't heal, it doesn't go away. They might get better and the appearance might get better, but you, the one on your hand, you wake up, you see it, and it's a reminder of what happened to you.
Even though it's small, it's just that, you know, I look at them, you know, I wake up every day and I look at my foot, or if I'm just getting changed, I see it and I'm like, oh, it's a bit purple, like, you know, and I'm not one to sit there and complain because, you know, if I stood up, it could have been my face. It could have been a lot worse, but it's seeing what everyone else has had to go through and seeing their scars. You know, they've got to wake up every morning and look in the mirror, look at, you know, their necks, look at, you know, their chest, you know, and even when they go on holiday, if they want to wear swimsuits, it's just things like that they've got to consider.
You saw Arthur Collins at the trial. What did you want to say to him? What do you feel about him?
I've been asked this, again, I've been asked this so many times this week, is what do you say to someone that throws acid? I don't think anyone would have a defined thing to say. And again, you know, what could you ask him that would mean he would... There's no justifying it. There's nothing he could say that would be an excuse enough to justify what he did that night. I think, for me, it would be, you know, put yourself in my shoes if it was your 22-year-old daughter, or if it was your sister or your mother or a really close friend, you know, that's what it does impact. That it impacts out of that circle. You know, what would you do? What would you think would be justifiable?
And with the sentencing, we're waiting to hear the judges say to expect a heavy sentence on this. And I know that you're pleased about that, but you're actually calling for a life sentence.
Yes, 100%. Like I said, you know, when you throw that, you throw liquid like that out of a bottle in whatever form of acid you throw it in, you know, their life scars, you know, they've got, like I said, you've got to wake up with those every day, and it's the impact of having to relive that every year on the anniversary. It's, you know, why shouldn't that justify a life sentence?
How's it affected you going out now?
I've always been quite outgoing, and I would say I've really tried not to let it affect me, and I would say I almost haven't, but, you know, I'm definitely a lot more selective about where I go out. You know, if I'm in busy places, of course, you know, everyone's anxious, and, you know, like I was on the tube the other day and someone incredibly angry got on, and, you know, I got off that tube because the first thing, you know, is what are they going to pull out, what are they going to do, you know, are they going to fight me, like...
Horrific, absolutely horrific, Molly. Firstly, it's good to see you.
And you.
And your recovery is ongoing, I know.
We should, what was your leg? It was your right leg,
yeah,
yes?
my right leg.
And was that where the damage was confined to? Was it your
right pretty much. There was a couple of splashes on my left leg, but it didn't really come to anything.
And then what did the doctors say about your leg, and where are you at? How are you healing?
It looks really good now. It looks like a birthmark now, to be honest. But to start off with, like it was full thickness burns, so I still can't really feel certain parts of my leg, but that's all right.
So you and Emily had been at school. You weren't best friends, but you'd been at school together for some time, in the same class, that kind of thing, so didn't have any fallings out with her. But then you went out with basically her ex-boyfriend, which she seemed to take exception to. Tell us about the day. You said, you know, you knew that she wasn't happy with you, and she sent a few text messages about you to your now boyfriend. What happened that day was so in the music room?
So I came back to school from an appointment, and I had music class, and one of my friends said to me, "Oh, you better go up and check your viola, because I've just seen Emily in the string room." So I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, let's go and see what's happened." And I got halfway up the stairs, and I turned around to my friend, and I had a really bad feeling, and I was like, "Would you be able to come with me?" So we went up the stairs together, and then as soon as we went into the room, there was like an eggy sort of smell, but we just made a joke about it. And I remember looking at my viola and shrugging my shoulders, and I was like, "Well, it's nothing wrong with it."
So the case was what, on a shelf?
Yeah.
And so it was where you'd left it. It didn't look like it had been tampered with or anything?
Not at all.
So what happened then?
So I just took it off the shelf, like I do 3 times a day or whatever. And my tights just started to like disintegrate. It was really
So as you pulled it, did this liquid just come out straight away?
Fell at the bottom, yeah. But I didn't really like see it. I just, because I didn't know that was going to happen. So when I saw the holes in my tights, I was like, "What's going on?" So
then, describe to me, because obviously you're well now, you're smiling, and you know, but this is a horrific thing to happen to you. I mean, look there; those are so raw, those scars. Describe the pain, if you can, when you suddenly saw your tights disintegrating, and the next thing it was your skin.
It was like someone holding a blowtorch to your leg, like, because if you burn your hand on an oven or something, you can take it away and then run it under the cold tap and it's fine. But with that, I couldn't really pull it away because it was stuck to me. So I didn't know what to do, and I just sort of ran out the room to get help, and it kept burning. Yeah.
And so you're screaming at this point.
Yeah.
The teachers come. What did they do?
She just like dragged me into the staff base, and took my boot off, and I stood in the sink, and she just used the teachers' mugs to like irrigate it.
Meanwhile, they're calling
the ambulance and stuff.
It's amazing they even knew what to do.
I know, it's just because I was saying it's so hot, it's burning, and there was no fire, so you just think, oh, what puts out water? What puts out fire? Water, so...
How did you find out that it was Emily?
It was just, like, the police investigations and stuff. I had a feeling when it happened, but obviously I didn't know for sure, because there was no evidence at that point, But
when you did find out, it's the wickedest of crimes. It's ghastly. Did you get a chance to speak to her at all?
No. I've seen her like twice since it happened. So.
You're smiling now, as I said, but this scarred you mentally as well as physically, didn't it? In your recovery period, you're at home by now.
Yeah.
You're not back at school. How was it affecting you?
It was quite hard to start off with because I went back to school on the Monday because I don't know, I just felt like I needed to for some reason. And then it wasn't until about January, February this year I started feeling like the proper effects of like PTSD and
the post-traumatic
like
stress. Yeah. And how was that affecting you? What kind of things were happening to you?
So like I couldn't concentrate on anything. And it sounds silly, but I would start just screaming for no reason because I didn't know what was going on in my head, and I felt really like frustrated, and I didn't know how to get my frustration out. And I remember there was one time I went up to my room to clean my wardrobe, and it's such a simple task, but I just couldn't do it, and I had to get my mum to help me to clean my wardrobe.
But you did get some counselling. What did the counsellor? Well, obviously I don't know exactly what they said, but how did that help you?
It was good just to be reassured that what I was doing was okay, like my reactions were totally normal for like someone suffering from trauma, so that was quite comforting.
It's the shock, I suppose, isn't it? When it was happening to you, you had no idea that that was going to happen, and then you have to process this.
Molly, you know about all these attacks in London as well, and this seems to be becoming the weapon of choice for so many people. Your attacker was sentenced to 21 months in jail in June. And she was led away in handcuffs, and she wanted to study law at Aberdeen University, and that's not going to happen, obviously, for her. What do you think about penalties with this? This stuff is so easy to buy. Last night we were able to buy a bottle of the strongest stuff online, £7.80, without any form of check or identification. What do you think? What do you think the law should be on this?
You have to be 18 to buy a kitchen knife, so I don't know why it's not the same for this, because it is a weapon. It's a really, really corrosive substance. It does so much damage to people, and like I just don't understand, if you're buying it online, why can't there be like a little red flag or something that comes up just to say, do you have a license or something? Because why would like a 17-year-old girl, for example, need to buy a bottle of acid or drain cleaner?
Why did you begin this in the first place?
You know, it started with just two families. It was a lesbian couple, and it was a single woman. The single woman was 40-something, and her biological clock was ticking, and she reached out to me for help. Sometimes sperm banks that they use, besides it being frozen, the expense, they don't want to exhaust all their money, and they rather save it for the child, but it's also they want to meet who the father of their child's going to be, and a lot of times they want me to have some level of involvement, you know, show up for Father's Day activities or birthdays, graduations, that kind of thing.
Well, when this first started, you see, you don't charge, and we'll point that out right from the word go. So this is a free service. At one point, you had 1,000 Facebook requests. So how do you choose who you're going to help?
I never did turn anyone down. Very often, sometimes you have women that are in their late 40s and they still want to try, and I'll try as long as they are willing. So obviously now it'd be a little more challenging. Certainly if a woman from Uganda calls me and she's 47 years old, I'm not sure I'm able to help her. I certainly don't have the funds to fly out there, but I try and accommodate it.
There are a number of methods of delivery, aren't there?
Yes, certainly. It's really always up to the mom. Some of them want to do it natural. Some of them want to do it in a clinic if they're too old or they need an egg donor. And some of them, I just do it in a cup and then pass it off to them, and they'll put it inside. And sometimes it's even through the mail. Pardon?
Have you done it by post?
Yes, I've mailed it to my daughter in Illinois, and I just overnighted it in a cooler. And it
Sorry,
worked.
you've sent it to your daughter in Illinois?
Well, now she's in Illinois. It was to the mother. In fact, what's interesting is I never met the daughter and I never met the mom.
I see.
It was a heterosexual couple, and the father just couldn't have children.
You have an incredible success rate, and you say that this is all down to the timing.
So you have to space it out just a little bit, but that's about it. And then, of course, timing the ovulation is always key.
Of course, yeah. But the thing is, some of these women have asked to have a relationship with you afterwards, haven't they? How do you get around that?
Well, a lot of times we don't know each other initially, but then we become friends, and then eventually we become family. We don't have romantic relationships afterwards, although sometimes they were sometimes interested in that. I think sometimes they love the child so much, and they see some of me in the child, and they're happy for what I did for them. And but we do become family in many cases, and we become very, very close.
How close are you to the children when they're finally born? What's your involvement in their lives?
Sometimes I'm there for the delivery, and sometimes I'm on the birth certificate. It's really up to the mom. And 4 of the children I never met. It's really up to them what level of involvement they want. So some I'll take on the weekends, and some I'll just do special occasions.
But some women have successfully sued for child support, haven't they?
Yes, there's really no way around it. There's no contract that you can create prior to conception that will protect you, especially when it's this known donor relationship. And it's been troubling financially for me, but in the end, it was worth it. And most of them have not sued, just the first few, and then there's really not much money left to take. So I feel like at this point, I'm protected.
And what about, I mean, obviously you can't practice safe sex with this. That would defeat the object of doing it. How do you make sure that you're healthy, that you're not passing anything on to anybody, and that they're not passing anything on to you?
Yes, certainly. Well, I get tested quite often. And then, of course, the moms would get tested. And then there's also, certainly, if I'm ejaculating into a cup and then giving it to them, I'm not really putting myself at risk.
No.
So if I do it natural, I try and only help one couple at a time. And then there's devices that help protect you as well. There's this device called the Stork that you can use, and it helps protect you. And then they sort of just put it inside them, but I'm not putting myself at risk.
Okay.
And this has cost you personally as well. It's cost you your marriage.
Yeah, then over the past 10 years, it's been troubling keeping a relationship. Very often, women seem to be okay with it. They think it's very noble very often, and they say that's no problem. But then, obviously, the children do take up a lot of my time. Even if I see them once a month, that's basically 22 days out of the calendar that I'll be busy. But more of an issue is sometimes there might be a woman ovulating like there is in a few minutes, and I'm going to have to go into the green room and help her. I wouldn't have been able to been intimate with whoever I was dating over the past 48 hours because that wouldn't have helped my count for this donation that I'm going to be making.
So you're going to go into the green room now and help this lady?
She's going to be here in around a half hour. I have a flight at 10, so we had to do it. But yeah, sometimes they don't really know when they're ovulating until the morning of. So she tested herself and she was surging, so that's correct. I hope they let me use the bathroom here.
This is a natural helping that you'll be doing?
No, it's not. She's going to use something what's called an instead cup. It's basically just a something that women use for their period, but it also can be used for fertility, where it holds the sperm close to the cervix. Okay. So wow. No, I'm not going to be doing it naturally. She's a lesbian couple in a committed relationship for many years.
How long will you keep this up?
I'm 40 years old already, so I don't see myself doing this when I'm 50. I think that I don't really have a number, but certainly I'm going to stop relatively in the next few years.
Well, listen, we won't keep you any longer. You've got a job to do.
She's surging.
So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hello, YouTube. For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
Being celibate and not ever putting out, it gives you a self-respect and a self-worth that only you can give you, if that makes sense. So where guys would treat you like a sex object, or they would want stuff from you, and actually being celibate, that really did weed out the good guys from the bad guys.
Most of us with kids say, you actually were quite relieved when your children get chickenpox. You think, oh, good, that's that one done, sorted and out of the way.
That's how we felt as a family.
So when you first saw the spots and thought, oh, that's chickenpox, did you have any concerns at that point?
No, not really, because my daughter had it, and I've been a nursery nurse for 20 years, so I know that it's just a childhood illness. So we thought he would just get a few spots, be a bit grouchy for a couple of days,
Yeah, like the normal they normally do.
And
but then it started getting a bit worse, the temperature was going up, and you did speak to your GP.
I phoned the GP up just to say he's got quite bad chicken pox, I think it's quite bad, and they said that they wouldn't see him because it's obviously contagious, so I understood that, but it's just chicken pox, and every mum thinks their child has it severely.
So at what point did you think, no, this has gone beyond now?
Just when every single day he woke up and he had more and more and more arriving, like on his face, he would just have like them on top of each other. So I obviously then thought that night, this is not, his temperature was up to 41 degrees.
Look at him, he's dropped his teddy. Can someone pick his...
Sorry.
For us? No, it's all right.
And, well, look, the really worrying thing here is that you tried to see your GP and that proved difficult.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dickie. Thanks, Dickie.
Yeah, they were just saying it's just chicken pox, you know, lots of rest, paracetamol, that, you know, and he'll recover in a few days.
You can let him wander if he's wants.
Okay?
He'll be safe. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him, don't worry. He just wants to have a little look round.
Yeah, so it wasn't until I thought the next day, this is not just normal. His temperature was still hitting 40.
Wow.
And nothing was bringing
scary.
it down, and he was just really, he wasn't eating, he wasn't drinking, he wasn't keeping any fluids down. So I managed to get an actual doctor's appointment. I said, I am bringing him in. You can't turn me away now. And they put me in an isolation room. And all their reactions when I walked through the doors was just like...
Yes, but before that, why was there a delay? There seems to be a feeling, Chris, that every parent thinks that their child's chicken pox is worse than anybody else's. So it's almost as if, you know, doctors have seen it all.
Well, OK, they have seen it all, but also Sarah's seen it all as well, being a nursery nurse, etc. And, I mean, basically, you know, we view chicken pox as very common, very contagious, and usually sort of a mild disease that children get and get away from. But, you know, obviously, you know, seeing his pictures there, Jasper's pictures, and his temperature getting so high and then getting worse by the day. I mean, they're alarm bells, and Jasper...
I'm sure you fear it's something worse at chicken pox then, that's at some stage.
No, I didn't.
No?
I just thought he had just a really bad case of chicken pox.
What about when he got to the hospital? What did they say?
I took him into A&E, because that's the first port of call, and luckily an amazing nurse was walking out, and he was just like, oh my goodness, he needs to be admitted, and he needs to be admitted now. And we got up to the children's ward, and obviously the doctors were coming in, and then they started mentioning other possible things it could be on top of the chicken pox. So,
like what?
Kawasaki's disease. Yeah.
Never heard of that. What's that?
But the interesting thing about Jasper, maybe why it was so bad was that his sister had chicken pox a week or two beforehand. So when a second child gets chicken pox in the same family, it often is worse. Rather than children just picking up at school, they just see their friends and they're not in very close contact for many, many hours. So very often the second child is. But also, he had scarlet fever developing
the week
just
before.
Oh. So he had scarlet fever, which is a bacterial infection. His immune system was trying to fight that. Then chickenpox came along on top of that, and it's not surprising that he got a severe reaction.
Rare. It is rare. But let's talk about vaccination, because I didn't know there was a vaccination against chickenpox.
Yeah, no.
So why do we not all have it, if there is one, it seems?
Yeah, whenever you get into these vaccination arguments, it can be very, very difficult. I mean, basically, when you look at the Department of Health assessing the situation, is it down to the bottom line? The cost of vaccinating every child in the country against chickenpox, which is generally a mild disease and not as dangerous as measles and mumps and whooping cough, which can be very serious indeed, and they're vaccinated against. So the cost of vaccinating...
Hello.
The cost of vaccinating against the small percentage that can get complications, that's what the vaccination committee will be looking at and making the decision next year, they say.
Next year. Now, Sarah, you're not too happy about that. You would like to see this as standard.
I would like to see. I mean, it is very rare that children do get severely affected by it, but I do think also that children have the choice and parents should have the choice. And all vaccinations are not compulsory, so you can choose to have them out, you can opt out of having them, and that's what I think chickenpox should be, rather than having to pay out for it, because some families can't afford it, it's a lot of money.
But if it's not a fatal condition, Why? Why? But I'd worry more about the scarlet fever
I
or
just think
meningitis.
that you're miserable with it. Children aren't. It's not. They don't just breeze through it. Even a very mild case, which I've seen, children do feel.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's very funny. He's obviously feeling back to his normal self.
He certainly is.
It's a good slidey floor, that, isn't
Come on
it?
then. Yeah, they can feel miserable
fine,
with it.
don't worry about
Even if it's a mild case of it, they can feel pretty grotty for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So.
But there's a demonstration. Look how well he is
Yeah.
now, and he's been very
They do
ill.
bounce back very quickly.
And that's what chickenpox does. You know, even severe cases, you know, the children do recover, and he should not have the complications. Thank goodness.
Can I just say, Chris, if anyone is watching and their child has got chickenpox, we said most kids sail through it, a few spots, and they're fine, a bit grouchy. But if their temperature soars like that, then you should go and
if the temperatures, if they're obviously more ill, if they're not eating, if they're breathing rapidly, they might have lung complications. Look, basically, if you're concerned, ring your GP and take it
from there. Okay. Thank you very much. Well, we're glad to see he's happy and, again, behaving like a normal
Sarah
two-year-old.
would be horrified if we were telling her about chickenpox parties when the likes of us were young, when people were brought deliberately to get it and get it out of the way.
Yes.
And the thing is, don't do that, because although maybe 1 in 10,000 children get a serious complication, if your child is the 1 in 10,000 who got it by going to a chickenpox party...
so not a good idea. For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel. But when it comes to medicine for your children, vaccinations, you're totally against this.
Yeah, I am. I actually believe childhood disease is quite important to experience to build the child's immunity. And Ulysses has experienced scarlet fever and chickenpox, and we treated that naturally.
Now, it's one of the world's oldest professions and is never far away from the headlines. So why is sex work still such a taboo?
Well, with 50% of the cast featuring real-life escorts, performers and strippers, the Sex Workers Opera hopes to educate an audience on what really goes on behind closed doors, and we can meet 3 of that award-winning cast now. So we'll welcome Siobhan Knox and Rachel Burley and former Sex Worker of the Year, Charlotte Rose. Welcome, all of you.
Thank you so
Siobhan,
much.
we'll start with you because you're the director and creator. So what is it?
OK, so thank you for having us on the show. It's really great. The Sex Workers Opera is a multimedia theatre show created and performed by sex workers and friends of sex workers. So it's really important to note that as a cast and crew, half of us are sex workers, and half of us are friends of sex workers, and you never really know who is who.
And we won't spoil any of that today. What sort of reaction have you had from the audience? Because there has been a little bit of negativity saying that maybe you're glamorising this industry, something that you vehemently deny.
Sure, I think we're trying to portray a really complex and human representation of sex work, because sex work is so often portrayed in a very two-dimensional, very glamorous or very tragic. You know, we're trying to show that it's human, and the reactions from the audiences have been really great. You know, we had the same person in the audience laughing and crying, and we've had 5 standing ovations. So we've now got support from the Arts Council as well, which is amazing.
Great.
And Charlotte, an award-winning sex worker. So is that awards for work within the industry or for campaigning?
So, well,
Are you
no.
just very good at it?
I'll take the very good at it, yeah. So that was with the Sexual Freedom Awards, so I won that in 2013, and it's about giving people within the industry recognition for the work that they do. So I was really honoured to receive that award, yeah.
And this is a perfect combination for you, because obviously with your background that we all know about because you've been on telly and the awards, but also you're a singer.
I am, yeah.
So this combines both things quite beautifully, and the fact that you love to campaign and raise awareness for sex workers.
Yeah.
She's an incredible singer.
Thank
Belts
you.
it out. Oh, good.
You should come and see the show, definitely.
It sounds great.
Mixing the two together was a perfect opportunity to raise awareness for the stigma that society still proclaims within the industry. And the show's been running for 2 years. It's grown, it's evolved, it's changed, and it's absolutely wonderful to be able to get the support from other networks around the world. And it's honourable for us to be able to share those stories.
And Rachel, what made you get involved?
Well, I was working with the ECP, the English Collective of Prostitutes, and we campaigned for safety and decriminalisation. I also done a lot of work in theatre, and I'm a great believer that theatre is a very, very powerful tool to bridge a gap between what's happening on the ground and the public. And so the stories that we tell as part of the opera reaches out to people who really don't know what really happens and sex workers' lives. And
you were quite impressed with the with the stories, some of them very funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. The show is incredibly funny.
People do say it's a lot funnier than they think it's going to be.
It's really funny and it's incredibly sexy and also sad. I mean, that's
So just explain that ECP stands for...
English Collective of Prostitutes.
So this is an organised body.
Yeah.
But we were asked not to use the word prostitutes.
Yeah.
So even the body that's looking after them uses the wrong word.
It's quite an old organisation, actually. It's been running, I think, since 1975, and they reclaimed the name at that point. And yes, I've done a lot of work around decriminalisation and safety. In fact, took the first prosecution, private prosecution in England against a man who actually raped a number of sex workers. The Crown Prosecution Service refused to prosecute the guy, but the ECP actually took a private prosecution.
They've done incredible work.
Yeah.
Sex worker as a whole, it covers a vast amount of people within the industry, so it's not just
Webcam
one...
models, strippers, people who work in brothels.
So this is why we prefer the name.
Yeah.
And so you've got how many in the company?
So there's around 12 actors, and we have a mini orchestra of 3 to 4. So it's quite a big company at the moment. It's really wonderful. We're a really nice, strong community. We trust each other a lot.
Something you can take your granny to?
Definitely.
Well, my daughter,
advise you
I actually brought my daughter to come and see the show, and she absolutely loved it. It really did open her eyes and raise awareness to the things that we're suffering with, the things that we get challenged on.
Well, thank you both for coming in.
Yeah, sorry, I just think that one of the stories as well is about a mother who is coming to terms with her daughter being a sex worker as well. So I think it's something everyone can relate to.
Sex Workers Opera runs until Sunday at the Pleasance Theatre in London. And thank
you very much. Thank you.
Hello, YouTube. For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
I always say Ruth has great bums. I do, don't go, darling? I do, and obviously I know how she got them.
No, Bake Off, of course, you know, it's kind of gone absolutely crazy, and as you said, it's all around the world.
The thing is with this, you don't want to overreact, and you don't want to say, you know, this has to stop immediately, because an element of it is quite fun, but it's just when it goes too far.
Yeah, it just crosses that boundary between what's hijinks and a bit of fun. But I do think it's a strong message that people are being scared. If someone's just say gave birth, they were so frightened.
I know.
And they're jumping out. It is not. It's not funny. You know, we have to stop this. It's causing alarm and distress to people. I would be scared to death if someone jumped out on me in the dark. We were just talking about this, and I did a bike ride last year for charity, and somebody jumped out on me in the early hours of the morning wearing a Freddy Cougar. I nearly had a heart attack. Scared me to death. I had a few choice words to say to him, but frankly, you know, they're committing an offence.
Lucky you didn't know who you were.
Absolutely.
Well, let's speak to you, Alice.
Just driving through, passing, it's like a big retail park. It's like quite a main road. So the lights turned to red. Lily shouted me from the back of the car, so I've turned around to check she was okay. And then she screamed and pointed to the front. So I've turned around and there was this clown just lay on the bonnet, like with his head in his hand, just looking through the window. So I was like, oh, like, what do I do? So my first reaction was to just drive off.
Yeah.
So I beeped the horn and drove off. But thinking about it afterwards, if those lights hadn't changed to green, I could have driven into oncoming traffic. We could have been dead. I could have ran him over. And, you know, I managed to settle them down and they were okay. It's coming up to Halloween. They're not, you know, they are children, but I managed to work them around to say it's just kids messing around. But then thinking about it later on, it's quite dangerous.
Yeah.
That somebody could get hurt, like, by being hit by a car. They're doing it on main roads, or I could have been hit by a car if those lights hadn't turned at that time.
Yeah,
well, the trouble is with all of these things, it's the obviously you understand the craze and the fact that there is. I was going to say done properly, but you know, but done carefully. There's an element of humour in it, but you have no idea the consequences of where this goes. Somebody panics, runs into a road.
Or retaliates. Somebody retaliates.
Well, that happened in America, and a 16-year-old boy was killed, I think, on a porch in America.
But this has been going back since the 1990s, Stephen King film, It. I mean, what will happen if we don't kind of just suppress this a bit? And like we say, we don't want to inflate this, but social media is already doing that. Someone was saying to me this morning, I hear that a load of women have been stabbed. That's nonsense. Yeah. And what the message the police would be saying very clearly is, we want people to have a bit of fun. We want our kids to dress up for Halloween. I think it's fantastic. It's a bit of fun. We've all done it with our children. But you know what? Just be mindful. When you're out there and you are frighting, you are intending to cause alarm and distress to people, then you're committing an offence against the Public Order Act. And what will happen, one of the magistrates is going to have to bang someone up and say, you know, shoot one, scare 1,000. You're going to have to go to prison because someone has really, really been scared and frightened like what happened with you.
Well, earlier we spoke to, we've changed his name, we're calling him Brian, who dresses as a creepy clown. We've also changed his voice as well. He goes out in public to frighten the locals, also runs a Facebook community for others who like to dress up as clowns and scare people. This is what he had to say.
I dress up as a clown to scare people because it's fun. I dress up every weekend. We would just get dressed up, walk around. I think other people have took matters into their own hands with weapons, but that's not what we're about. Just 100% definitely no violence. This is just about the fun, just because it's coming up towards Halloween. So you need to be careful who you need to approach. You can't approach a young girl on her own on a night out. That's just, you just can't do that. Definitely not children. Definitely not old people. Not elderly people. I think people have got the wrong gist of what we're trying to do.
Quite recognisable hands there. You mentioned It, the Stephen King film, and there was at one stage the inclination that this might be a massive, great publicity stunt. And when the film company said no, it's got nothing to do with us. But as Brian said there, you know, that their thing is not jumping out on old people and children and not carrying weapons.
It's quite scary.
I mean, it's still
I found him quite scary.
I found him scary.
Yeah,
He jumped out on me, and I don't fit into those categories. The other thing is that, you know, as we know, forces are under-resourced at the moment. Yeah. If money's being taken away and manpower, time to sort of sort out situations like this, the worry is that this could impact on the response to more serious crimes.
Exactly, and people will want to call the police because we've heard about it, they've read about it, and they are scared. But you know what? They just don't have that resilience.
Like, if I'm walking out tonight and I go past the shop and I walk down somewhere and I see one, what do I do?
Well, just ignore them and try and walk the other way.
I think the media are making it a lot worse than it is.
It's a lot worse than what it is.
Because the one paper said that this clown had a machete and was threatening my children. That wasn't the case.
There's a bit of hype, isn't there?
Well, Kylie says, I think it's slightly funny. People have been doing this stuff for years. Yeah. Elaine says they haven't killed anyone, so where are people's sense of humour? Charlotte says, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just harmless fun. It's not the prankster's fault that people can't take a joke.
For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
So he's at the door now. There he is.
How do you feel about him?
Yeah, I'm still here, so yeah, it's fine.
So we'll bring him a little bit closer.
Can he come closer?
Yeah.
How close can he come?
Yeah, it's fine.
Can he keep coming closer?
Yeah.
Your siblings are going to hate the fact they can't tease you with this anymore.
Yeah, I did, yeah. One of my older brothers did, yeah.
I was walking through Leicester Square just prior to Christmas and I saw somebody who does this amazing job that Heidi does, and it was all kicking off, and I went over and I said, this is awful, and he said, it's just a day in my life. And as I walked away, he said, I love your show, mate. And I thought of that. I thought, what can I possibly do? And then one of my team looked at the figures. You're absolutely right. It equates to 70,000 a year staff in the NHS just doing their job. People like Heidi, whose story you're going to hear in a minute, they don't all get the level of abuse, but they get some. One doctor who's been on my show, he's been a doctor for 7 years, he's been assaulted 3 times, once he's had a gun brandished in his face. All I am saying is this, please show that you care about those who care for us. In Scotland, it would be treated as if you were assaulting a police officer. In England, Wales and Northern Ireland, for some reason we've missed out on that. I want them afforded the same protection as they should rightly have in Scotland.
The problem is that, and we're just looking at our figures now, that in Scotland there have been over 60,000 attacks on paramedics, medical people. And so, although the law is different there, it doesn't really seem to have made very much of a difference, sadly.
Well, as I said, it's not going to stop the attacks. but it will show that we treat them at the same level as a police officer. All I can say in the Scottish case is it is a hideous number, but there was a decline...
60,000 in 5 years.
Over the 5-year period, yeah. There was a decline after it came in. So, listen, 6 is too many.
Bit of a difference.
Yeah, so it brought it down. It's still right, you're absolutely right. But if I can... Oh, sorry, if we can bring it down, if you can sign the petition, and if you'll allow me, I'll tell you where to find the petition, if you'll allow me to do that later. If you sign that petition, when we get to 100,000, it goes to the House of Commons. Can you honestly, Holly or Philip, see an MP voting against protecting these people?
I can't understand why you wouldn't. You've had incredible support so far.
Yeah.
Just tell us about the petition so that we've got that now.
100,000 signatures, please.
Yeah.
It's been going literally a week. 40,000 already. You go to LBC, Leading Britain's Conversation, lbc.co.uk, or my Twitter, @NickFerrariLBC, and please add your signature.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that.
Now, Heidi, so you've worked in the ambulance service for 9 years. You've been a fully qualified paramedic for the last 3 years. And you say weekly you are facing abuse, under attack weekly, and for a long time you just thought this was part of your job.
Yes, so we commonly come across people, whether it's verbal, physical, sexual, we come across this abuse so often, and it's something that sadly isn't going away.
And so in what way? How and when? Is it the weekends? Is it people that are drunk?
No, it used to be just the weekends, and you could preempt the kind of clientele that we'd end up treating, that we could predict this. But with this gentleman that happened to me, he was a 75-year-old gentleman who wasn't a frail old man. He was very much a retired professional. He was very articulate, very well educated. He was a very ostentatious man, and he understood my demands to stop, but he just didn't. And so we can't predict anymore who it's going to be because this just happens so regularly.
And was this in the ambulance that he was
This is in the ambulance.
And I'm not going to ask you the details because we've read the details and they're really very
really
serious.
appalling.
They are horrific what he was attempting to do to you. But for you, that did have a profound effect.
Yeah, massive effect. Like I say, you just kind of get used to it, and you'll take a boob grope and you'll take a slap and things like that, and you just kind of like, well, that's just the people that we deal with.
You're even saying that is so wrong.
Excuse me, there's no other job in the country where a girl would say that and say, oh, you take a... I mean, the person would be fired or go to... I mean, it's absurd, guys. It's wrong.
Even with the severity of the case that happened to you, and it went a lot further than those two things that you've just said, you, even to begin with, had to be talked into reporting it.
Yeah, so I was initially quite... hesitant with it because I wasn't sure whether I should have just put up with it, because that is just something that we deal with, and then after a week of thinking about it, I was like, what actually happened was horrific. And one of my managers said, if somebody said that to you, what would you tell them to do? And I was like, well, I'd tell them to go to the police. And he's like, so do it, why are you not doing it?
And that's
so you
what
did?
you did.
Yeah.
And what was his punishment?
He got a 12-month conditional discharge, and he had to pay me £300 compensation. So he never went to prison, and he never got put on the sex offenders list.
And also, to begin with, you should point out that he said that he was not guilty for quite a long time until at the last minute. So he put you
changed
through...
his statement a few times, and then he put, the day of the courts, I was driving to the court with one of my managers, and we got a phone call saying, you haven't got to come in, he's changed his plea at the last minute.
Imagine doing that to a female police. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, no. Imagine if that man had done that to a female police officer. You could have looked it up to 9 months in jail. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to bring.
I just don't understand the disparity. I can't quite understand why.
I mean, credit to Scotland. Well done. They've got it. We just need to play catch-up. That's all we need to do.
And so what has seen the rise, then? Why are we doing this? So the people who have trained and who are there when you are lying in the pavement or whatever, and you hear those sirens, you think, oh, my God, they've come to help me, they've come... Why are we doing this to them?
Well, one of the key things is, unfortunately, due to budget cuts, a lot of people who need emotional health care are actually out on the streets, so that when they come across people like Heidi and others, in days of yore, they would have actually been in special institutions or in homes or have carers around them. Now they're effectively living on their own, and these are, I won't say dangerous people, but they have poor levels of behaviour, and that's why they're sort of...
And the problem is that the more this happens, the more we're going to lose brilliant people from this kind of job. I mean, you yourself, it used to be a job that you would freely say you loved your job, and since this attack, that has definitely changed.
Yes, I don't come to work anymore with the enthusiasm that I used to, because you're always extra cautious of what might happen. And in some ways, he's done me a small favour, because now, where I used to not really have much concerns, now I've become extra cautious whenever I assess patients. So in that way, it's made me more aware of my surroundings in a way that I just assumed I never had to be.
If you enjoyed that, there's more of the same right here. And make sure you subscribe so that you never miss the best moments from this morning. Tell us a little bit about Debbie and Claire first of all, because they've been together for 17 years, hadn't they? And they had a good life together. They were rarely apart.
Yeah.
And what was she like as a sister?
Very kind, caring. Give you a last penny if she had it. Always just, she was just an all-round good person.
Yeah.
And she had health problems, didn't she?
Yeah, she had MS for about the last 25 years, and she'd also had a mitral valve replacement almost 2 years ago.
So this was the reason on the 7th of March that she was going to the hospital, and Debbie was with her also. Claire was with her also. She'd gone along to support her. She'd gone for a routine blood test, and it was when they'd parked the car and they'd gone to the ticket meter to go and get the car out that this incident happened. So what happened?
Well, Philip Bull was dropping his wife off for her appointment, and there was an ambulance, but it's not an accident, an emergency, it's just a drop-off point for patients who've got appointments. And it was clearly signposted that it was for ambulances only and not for public use, although it's not enforceable by law, but they are advised not to park there. But because his wife was elderly and frail, he wanted to drop her closer to the entrance. He let his wife out the car, gave her a walking frame to go into the hospital, and he started to reverse. I'd seen another car coming, and apparently his steering wheel's on a right lock.
Right.
I don't drive, I don't know what that means. And he'd put his foot on the accelerator thinking he'd put it on the brake. And he just kept on pressing and pressing. And then he sort of reversed back and hit a bollard, not a really strong one of these flimsy metal ones. And after doing that, he pinned Claire to the wall, killing her instantly. He'd also hit another member of the public, but they just had some scratches and bruises. And then Debbie went, obviously seeing what was going on, and went, excuse me, went to try and get out of the way. But because on an automatic car, apparently, if your foot's still on the accelerator, the wheels are still going, and the back end of the car was up, and it spun, and it hit Debbie and landed on her and crushed her.
So they were both killed immediately?
Yeah. It should never have happened. Had he not have been parked where he was, had he have done what Debbie and Claire were doing, and that was parking up, go and getting the ticket, this just would never have happened.
Well, I mean, the judge's thoughts in court, this is some of what he said. He said he'd chosen to suspend the jail term after careful and considered reflection. I want to make the obvious point that nothing that this court can do can put right the wrong or restore the devastating loss that's occurred. The sentence that this court imposes is not intended to and cannot ever reflect the value of the lives lost. He told Mr. Bull, "You made a genuine and catastrophic mistake. The consequences were unforeseen and completely unintended. The fact is that you will live for the rest of your life in the knowledge that your unintended actions on this occasion resulted in the deaths of 2 people. That is your burden to bear." Now, you're not happy with the sentence. You think it should have been stricter.
Yeah, I mean, my parents alone, if you could actually see them. I mean, Philip Bull didn't just kill them, 2 people that day. He's killed a whole family, he's killed 2 families. My dad, you know, when he pleaded guilty to dangerous driving, he said, "Now I can die happy." And he even expressed a wish to die, and he's actually dying in front of our eyes. He really, really is.
Because at the moment, the DVLA, on turning 70, the DVLA will send people a new form to renew their licence. They have to renew it every 3 years. And they have to declare, all they have to do, it's not a new test, they just have to declare on the form that they're still fit to be able to drive. So it's their responsibility in order to judge this for themselves. You feel that because, as a 90-year-old man, he chose to get behind the wheel of that car that day, and that if he was responsible enough to do that, then he'd be responsible enough to do the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, most of the press kind of just put out, you know, he was 90 years old, he was looking after his 87-year-old elderly wife, etc. He's still able to care for her.
We all in our lives make terrible mistakes, and some of them can be catastrophic. So this is a 90-year-old man with an 85-year-old wife. He's been caring for her for 65 years. She has multiple health issues. Is there anything to be gained by locking him up?
You know, probably not with hindsight, but we would have liked an apology. We've never even had an apology. He mentioned in his police statement that, you know, he was remorseful for what's happened, but he's never actually addressed the family.
Well, he told the courts, I cannot think of any way worse to come to the end of my life, having now ended the lives of others. And you felt that actually he was more worried about how it was affecting him than how it was affecting another family.
Yeah, I mean, even on the day that he pleaded guilty to death by dangerous driving, there was no remorse. There was nothing on his face. He never looked at us once. And, you know, the pictures that you see in the paper of him just, to me, depict the sort of man that he is, that he's obviously got... He's not... I don't think he's got any remorse for us, to be fair.
What would you like to see happen as far as the law is concerned? Because we contacted the DVLA and we asked a spokesman about why elderly drivers aren't retested, and they actually refused to comment. So they didn't want to say anything. What do you say?
I think, I mean, obviously, you know, people deteriorate at different ages, you know, 65. My dad stopped driving when he was 72 because he knew he wasn't capable anymore. And, you know, it's easy to go to an optician's and they say, yeah, OK, your eyesight's it's not that good, but wear these. It'll be fine. But you can't wear anything, you know, to judge your capacity to react to situations, because there's no way at 90 years old you can react in a way that a 25, 30-year-old could. Yeah. So I think really this should be retested to make sure, you know, that they've got the reaction times that are needed. They need to consider that.
Well, thank you for coming today, and I hope as a family you find some way of moving on and being at peace with this. So sorry.
Thank you.
Jobs, therapy, you name it, artificial intelligence is already part of our daily lives. But what really is it, and how do we use it to our advantage, and should we be scared of it?
Well, cybersecurity expert Jake Moore has helped businesses including the Bank of England, IBM and Meta get themselves ready for advances in AI technology.
Also joining us today is a brand new member of the This Morning family, our very own AI expert, Julia, who you can see here is not a real person. She is completely generated by artificial intelligence. And by the wonders of AI, we can actually talk to her live now. We're going to talk to her in just a second. How did you create Julia, Jake?
So, AI is fantastic. We're having so much fun with it at the moment. Over the last couple of years, it's just exploded. And there are so many tools out there that are able to give you so much more support in business, in your social life. And there is so much out there that can benefit you. And so these tools that might seem quite strange are available to clone yourself or even clone, say, a PA like this.
So now, interestingly, Jake, can I ask how old you are?
I'm 43.
You're 43. So do you remember Tomorrow's World?
Oh, yeah.
OK, so Maggie Philbin used to have these sorts of things where they'd test technology live and it would go wrong, which is exactly what's happened. Julia's crashed. And in order to reactivate it, I think you've got to go behind the sofa and reboot the computer.
Well, they do say that you should never work with kids, animals, and now AI.
AI. So do you want to go and relaunch Julia? This is exactly what used to happen with Tomorrow's World. I feel like it's a throwback to the late 80s.
For sure, for sure. I know exactly what you mean.
But you've created Julia, haven't you, Jake, using some pretty straightforward, simple software. It wasn't the most complicated thing to do. And in theory, if we get her working again, we'll be able to understand exactly how effective an AI assistant can be.
Yeah, so hopefully she comes back to life any minute now. But, yeah, you really can interact with it, like you're working with, say...
Oh, there you go.
There she is. Like you're working with a real person, like in ChatGPT.
Right, OK, so let's try talking to her. Julia, what is AI?
AI, or artificial intelligence, refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are designed to think and learn like people. It encompasses various technologies, such as machine learning and natural language processing, allowing computers to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. It's a fascinating field with endless possibilities.
Julia, we haven't told you what to say, have we?
No, you haven't. I'm here to provide information and assistance based on your queries. If there's anything specific you'd like to know, feel free to ask.
OK, so Julia, why does AI exist?
AI exists to enhance efficiency, automate tasks, and improve decision-making processes across various fields. It helps solve complex problems, enables innovation, and makes life easier by providing tools that assist in everyday activities. It's all about making things smarter and more streamlined.
Jake, maybe you can simplify that for us. I mean, she got quite serious, didn't she?
She got very serious about, don't even think that you've given me the questions and I've heard my answer.
So just, can you simplify it? Because there'll be people watching at home going, this is all fascinating, but what does it actually mean?
So AI takes a load of data and it puts all that data into what we call an algorithm, and then it works out what you're saying, what you're asking it, and it looks through all that data, and it puts it through this, and it comes out with an answer. But now, over the last couple of years, you can add tone to it, or you could just, say, show it a photo, and it can understand what it can see, and it can do so much. In fact, it's so creative, you can do pretty much anything with it.
It's advanced significantly, but it's been around a while now, right?
Yeah, so for the last 20 years, we've called it machine learning. Hence, the data in there, it's just looked through all this data and tried to establish what you might want from that. But the intelligent part of it, which is what we're seeing over the last, say, couple of years with ChatGPT and things, it's really starting to take the next level and evolve so quickly. And we're seeing things like this, and when it works, you can interact with it like this.
OK, so, Julia, why does AI scare people?
Many people find AI frightening due to concerns about job displacement, privacy issues, and the potential for misuse in dangerous ways. Additionally, portrayals in media often emphasize dystopian scenarios, leading to fears about a loss of control. It's essential to navigate these concerns thoughtfully as we continue to advance in technology.
Julia, can I ask, those portrayals in the media and in films, which characters are you talking about?
While I can't ask you questions, I can share that characters like HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey and Skynet from Terminator are often cited as examples that evoke fears about AI. These portrayals highlight the potential dangers and ethical dilemmas surrounding advanced artificial intelligence, shaping public perception and concern. It's definitely an intriguing topic.
Could it happen?
While the scenarios depicted in films are largely fictional, there are valid discussions around the risks associated with advanced AI development. Experts are actively working on ethical guidelines and safety measures to ensure that AI technology is developed responsibly, aiming to prevent undesirable outcomes. It's a proactive approach to shaping a safe future with AI.
So, Julia, can you deceive people? Can AI deceive people?
AI can indeed produce outputs that may mislead or deceive if used improperly, such as generating false information or deepfakes. However, responsible use and ethical guidelines are crucial to minimize these risks and ensure AI serves to inform and assist rather than deceive. It's all about using technology wisely.
We have to use technology wisely. It's fascinating hearing her respond. I feel like she did confirm that the Terminator could happen as well, though. It might just be me. Let's go back to that point, that question that Kat just asked about being deceived, because you work as a security expert and you actually use AI to try and test certain businesses' security, don't you, cybersecurity? What sort of things have you done?
Yeah, so I like to use the latest technology just like scammers would, and try and test out the security in businesses. So a couple of years ago, for example, I cloned the voice of the CEO of a business. I hacked into his phone with permission, I've got to add. I then stole his WhatsApp number and then sent a voice note with the CEO's voice to the financial director, asking for them to move money. And I asked them to move money into my account, and it took me 15 minutes to get £250 sent into my account.
From the CFO of a big business?
Yep.
I mean, you'd think somebody who would be really conscious of that sort of thing. It's amazing how sophisticated that was.
Yeah, so this is all about, say, hacking the human. And we hear about this all the time, but it's the fact that we can actually speak to people sounding like people now. It's not just an email or a text message. And that's where they are convinced into believing, well, it's got to be them. It's coming from the number, sounds like their voice. Well, yeah, it's not, say, policy to do it this way, but I've got to do it because they've got time constraints, for example.
Jake, I feel like I need to know so much more about this. I was going through Instagram this morning, and Joe Frost, Super Nanny, had put a post up actually saying, it was so weird that it was on this same day as well, talking about AI and saying, this is coming. As parents, we need to properly inform ourselves before we just kind of open the floodgates and let it over to our children. My kids are 9 and 7. How can I learn about it more? How can I find more information? And how can we keep our kids safe in a way and protect them?
I think it's all about learning with them. I think it's not just kids that are learning this now, it's all of us. Just like when, say, Google came out, we started to play around with it. I think we need to be playing around with these AI agents like ChatGPT. In fact, ChatGPT is being used more of a search engine now than Google in many parts of the world. And it can create this tone. You can teach it to speak, say, in a way that you'd like it to. Yeah. And it will respond in a way that you want it to, say, to a child as well. Right. So I think definitely work with them, just like with apps and going through security features and so on, making sure you're safe, the child is safe. I do it with my kids, and they love ChatGPT and other agents out there. But as long as you know that what you're putting into it, read the privacy terms. So if you're paying for, say, a ChatGPT agent, then you tend to have them more encrypted, and the safer ones are those.
Okay.
If you were nervous about AI stealing your jobs, don't worry too much, because unfortunately Julia's glitched again. I think she got tired. But it's been fascinating, Jake. Just as an exercise, us genuinely asking those questions. She had no idea what we were going to talk about and was able to respond with incredible answers, really.
Yes, yeah.
And it's just going to get better. That's going to get more and more seamless, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we are still in this early phase of AI. It's only really been a couple of years with this generative AI. So the way we've been using ChatGPT and creating images just from typing in a few words. If we can do this now, and it's moving so quickly, just think in the next couple of years, it's going to be even better. It's going to learn so much by us putting in that data.
And then it's eventually going to take over. Don't say that, Jake.
Definitely not going to take over. But it's going to be like having a colleague to bounce ideas off, or just to get any idea. Maybe you're, I don't know, creating a birthday party for your child on the weekend. You need some ideas. It can tailor it to exactly that.
Those are the things I think will be really cool.
Yeah, it's not going away.
We've
got to learn more about it, for sure.
Thank you, Jake.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you, Julia.
Please pass on. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
For these parents in America, making their 16-year-old son live in a tent for a month for stealing his sister's MP3 player was, they say, just right.
Well, joining us now, we've got Kelly Rose of Bradford. She thinks extreme discipline can be a good thing. And B. Marshall, who says punishment is just an excuse for child abuse. Now, that is quite an extreme view, B. Do you seriously think that sort of punishment? This is this family in America, and their 16-year-old son, Adam, had been stealing from the family. And so they say, we're teaching him a lesson. You can't behave like that. You live out in the yard. So he's on the grounds of their home, saying, out you go, have a bit of hardship. You think that's child abuse?
I think it's at the start of a very slippery slope. And any form of punishment puts the parent in a position of power over their child. The child then becomes powerless to whatever degree, and you're using fear and control to manage your child's behaviour. Now, if you and I sat over the table having a cup of tea and you started sharing that this kind of relationship was going on, you know, with your husband, then, you know, I would be really quite concerned that you were in a relationship with someone that was using fear and control to manage your behaviour.
But don't we have to show our children boundaries? So you say there has, you know, he's a 16-year-old lad. He's not, you know, he's not a toddler. Yeah. So he knows that there are consequences to behaviour. Is that not what they're teaching him? I mean, he's safe. He's in the confines of their backyard, as they call it in America. You know, he's being fed. They're just saying he needs a bit of hardship. He needs to learn a lesson. He needs to think about what he's done. Because stealing from your family, stealing anyway, but stealing from your family, it's a big thing.
Absolutely. I'm not condoning the stealing at all. I just think that there are much better ways to deal with this situation, or any situation with unwanted behaviour with our children. What he's experiencing right now is, I mean, he may be thinking about what he's done. Mostly he's going to be thinking about the extreme heat he's sitting in. I mean, I've been in Albuquerque in the autumn. It's hot then. It must be excruciatingly hot now. And I'm not sure how much this is actually going to help him change his behaviour, because behind every behaviour is a positive intention.
Do you not think he'll think, I won't do that again?
No, he'll do something different, because behind his behaviour is a positive intention, which we don't know what it is. But when we can understand our child's positive positive intention.
Meaning why he was stealing?
Yeah.
There's something positive behind that.
Behind that, he's trying to make his world right in some way. We all are. Whenever we behave in an inappropriate way, we're always trying to make our world right. You know, think about when you pick at an argument because, you know, you had a crappy day and you're trying to get some attention, for example.
I'm overanalyzing it a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you put your boy, he's what, 13 now?
Yeah.
If he was naughty, would you shove him in a tent in the garden?
Gosh, yeah, I'm thinking of doing it this weekend, actually. It's given me all kinds of ideas for discipline now, this one. But yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, children need boundaries, and as parents, we're not there to be our children's friends. And I think, you know, very much kids want to know how far they can push mum and dad and what's going to happen if they do push them too far. And I think, you know, the fear of the punishment, I think, is a good thing. I think, you know, I don't want children to be frightened of their parents, and I'd be mortified if my son was frightened of me.
Oh, but you do want them to be frightened sometimes.
But you want them to be frightened of what will happen.
If you're a teacher, you want them to be frightened sometimes. If you're a police officer, you want them to be frightened sometimes. Surely,
I disagree.
But really? How on earth does authority work? Surely all discipline is negative.
There's a difference between having authority and having power over somebody. And actually, fear is a very contracting emotion. And what we want is children who have such a strong sense of self that they can establish their own boundaries and respect the boundaries of others, not to act out of fear. I want my children to act from internal motivators, not external motivators.
So, because your boys, you know, we should be setting those boundaries, and we should be setting this discipline, and it shouldn't be sort of like an equal relationship between child and parent. As parents, we need to be there, you know, reining them in.
I think we absolutely need to be there.
We have to have that control.
And we need to have boundaries, but there is a difference between establishing very clear boundaries for yourself and helping your children understand how to establish their own boundaries and how to respect people's boundaries, and then actually punishing them for when they make mistakes.
If you don't discipline them, how are they ever going to learn that? If you're just like letting them free range and do whatever they want to do and kind of like learn from their own mistakes without you intervening at all, how are they going to ever respect any kind of authority? Or how are they going to cope in the workplace? How are they going to cope, you know, before that, even at school, when a teacher tells them what to do or a teacher tells them off?
But what you're doing is you're taking the fact that I don't use discipline or punishment, and I work as a parenting coach with mums around the world, and this is what I work with them with. And you're taking that to mean that kids can just do whatever they like. Kids can't just do whatever they like, but they don't need to be punished or have kind of these boundaries placed on them in order to behave beautifully. I mean,
so your boys are 10 and 11.
Yes.
So do you punish them in any way? So
no.
Because they must behave badly sometimes. What do you do then? If when they were little, they bit another child or they stole money from your purse, what would you do?
Yeah, so whenever my child exhibits an unwanted behaviour, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, because that's two different things as well, I will say to them, you know, when you did whatever that was, I felt sad, I felt cross, I felt frustrated, because I want you to respect our home, or I want you to respect me, I want you to be considerate. Would you be willing to explain to me why you decided to do that? And my kids trust me, and we have this amazing relationship.
Do they never do it again?
But we've also used that voice that makes you fearful. When you talk about intimidation, yes, would you be willing to explain to me why you did that?
That's your own issue,
there's an implicit threat in that. Would you be willing? Because if you're not willing, there's going to be a consequence.
If they're not willing, that's fine.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
You know, a lot of men that do suffer from body image issues, not just women. It's a universal problem that a lot of us have, and it's something I still struggle with, especially since I've become pregnant. My body's changing. I'm kind of having to like readjust to this new body. But growing up, it was really hard because of being bullied. But I learned very quickly that you have to surround yourself with people that are positive and that support you.
Scenario for you to imagine. Being away on holiday, only to find your savings disappearing from your bank account right before your eyes.
That's what happened to Ian Finlay and his wife when scammers took thousands of pounds from his bank account while they were on a cruise in Australia. They were the victims of an increasingly common scam that nearly all of us are at risk from.
Yeah, Alice Beer is here alongside Ian to warn us all about the SIM swap scam. I'm saying that very carefully, Alice.
Easy and slowly. Yes.
Ian, lovely to have you here. We'll talk to you in just a moment about what you went through. Let's just start, though, Alice, because SIM cards and SIMs are something we all have, we're all dealing with all day, every day, but just a little bit of explainer about it.
If you've got one of these, you've got a SIM card inside it. It is a subscriber identity module. That's for your pub quiz. That'll get you at least a point, if not a pint. So basically, that little chip, that little microchip inside your phone is a link between your mobile phone network and your number. So it personalises it for you so that all your texts and all your calls come to you. Now, a SIM card swap is a very genuine service, and you might need it if you lose your phone or you change your network provider. If you've got a better offer, you say, OK, I need to migrate my number to another SIM card. And that happens, and that's fine. You want to keep your existing number. However, when a fraudster gets hold of enough information that they are able to swap your number onto their SIM card, then you're vulnerable, and so is your bank account. And that's what happened to Ian, because they then have access to everything. So last year, Action Fraud had over 2,000 cases of SIM card swaps. There'll be many more that weren't reported, we know, and that was double on the year before. So you can bet your bottom dollar that there's thousands of these happening all the time. And you need to be aware, because there are things you can do to be alert to it and to prevent it happening.
Well, I was going to ask you, how do they do that so we can kind of work out...
Let's go through the actual process, because it is complicated. But first of all, fraudsters get hold of your data. It happens every day. There might have been a data breach at someone who's got your information, a big organisation. You may have clicked on a phishing text or email that's been sent out from a SIM card somewhere. So they gather your information. Your information is in the wrong hands. What they then do is use that data to gather more information about you, maybe your email address, maybe your date of birth, for example. And then what they really want is your phone number. And once they've got your phone number, they can then contact your mobile network provider. They can pass all the identity checks because they've got your address, they've got your date of birth, and they've got your phone number, and it's not that hard to do. I'll tell you how you can prevent that later. They impersonate you and they convince your network provider to carry out a SIM card swap. And they migrate your phone number to a SIM card that they've got. And then, from then, they have got control of your incoming texts and your emails and any incoming codes, you know, those verification codes.
It's like
we
the
get the whole
steps,
time.
isn't it?
They've got access to that. And when they've got access to that, they've got access to things like your banking apps. And then you can literally sit back and watch money going out of your bank account, as happened to Ian, and you can't do anything about it at that stage because they have control of your bank.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? And
It's
terrifying
terrifying.
to hear.
Yeah,
We'll
because
come
it
on-
doesn't sound that difficult
No,
either.
it sounds like a simple step process. Ian, this is exactly, as Alice said, what happened to you.
It is, yeah.
You were away on holiday?
Yeah, we were away just to add to the complication of it all, we were away in Australia.
So time zones, the other side of the world, yeah.
Different technology, doubts about whether or not your phone's working correctly, plus the time zone if you want to make any queries, any phone calls to banking operations in particular. And we first started noticing that one of our credit cards has been declined. Again, because you're on a ship and you're only getting off, you know, once every other day, you're not using your cards all the time as you would be at home.
Yeah.
So the first time it happened, you think, it's a glitch.
Well, you're also in
It's a
different
technical-
locations as
Yeah,
well.
we were moving around.
Yeah.
It's just a glitch. We use another card. Then when I got back onto the ship, I actually went into the card app. Couldn't see anything wrong, but then noticed some transactions on my current account that weren't from me. And then when I looked again at the credit card account, there was stuff going on.
And what sort of stuff? You were talking about how
Well,
much were they spending?
there was on the credit card, it was fairly common stuff. It was meals out, it was clothes, but then they'd actually put a deposit down on a holiday to New York. Wow. And I found out subsequently that they were trying to make a payment from my current account to my credit card account so they could pay the balance on the holiday. And we actually caught that in the middle of that going on, so that was quite lucky.
So what did you do, Ian? Like, what was your first kind of call to action?
Well, the first call of action was actually on the ship. Cards were going down, and I think we had one left.
So they're all stopping working?
They're all stopping. We had one left that was working. So we actually went and had a chat with the ship and said, look, this is the score.
Yeah.
And they agreed to give us a line of credit if we needed it until we got off and got home. So that was fine. There was no immediate worry for us on the ship. But it wasn't until we got home that we realised it was something bigger than just a card scam or a cloning of a card. It was actually the whole lot had gone.
Yes.
And at that time, we started to look at our savings account, and there was a substantial amount had gone from the savings account in a series of transactions into, I believe it was a Monza account it had gone to.
So thousands of pounds was going?
Thousands of pounds, yes.
That must have been terrifying.
It was. I mean, for certainly a couple of weeks, we were in limbo. All the intentions were, if you've done nothing wrong, you'll get this money back. It'll just, a bit of investigation, bit of time, it'll come back to you. But until that actually happens, there's always that amount of uncertainty.
And you must have felt really vulnerable because you're trying to work out how on earth have I clicked on something that has meant I've been scammed.
Yeah.
Were you aware of the SIM swap scam before this?
Your first feeling is, as it is, with a simple card scam, what have I done wrong? Where's it happened? Where's it been cloned? And you start to click through, and I'm going over a period of a month, you start to click through, where has this happened? And then you realise nothing like that has happened. Your mobile phone company has sent a duplicate SIM to an address not connected to your account, that somebody's put in a phone, and then they've got everything they need to know about you. And as Alice said, the added implication is that we're now all pushed into two-stage authentication.
Yes.
I was sat trying to look at my accounts, trying to get into them, getting a message saying we'll send you a 4 or a 6-digit code. That never arrived.
No, of course.
I know that was now being skimmed off by the scammers.
Fraudsters, yeah.
They were then using it to get into my account and do even more damage.
Oh, so how do you discover this, Alice?
Well,
because you automatically go straight to credit card,
Absolutely,
first of all, don't
and
you?
Ian was on it. Who on holiday checks their accounts regularly?
Yes.
Not many of us.
Yeah.
Check your accounts regularly. That's good financial, security behaviour, of course. Never click on any phishing links because obviously they're harvesting your information. Your phone will stop functioning and you'll lose access to things. You will notice it when it happens. When it goes quickly.
Right.
And then you have to act. Report to your bank, get your account frozen, report to your mobile provider, get a case ID number from both of them so you've got control later. Get your phone number back. Get your mobile provider to get your phone number back. And if you feel there's been an unfair breach, you have to get in touch with a communications ombudsman because then you can actually do something about it, stop it happening again. But we have a responsibility here, and you did nothing wrong. We're all, the way we live our lives, we're doing things wrong now. We have to change.
Yeah.
We're leaving too much information lying around. We're leaving it lying around on all social media platforms, phone numbers, date of births, pets. I bet if I looked into your account, I could tell when your birthday is. I could vaguely find if you've ever done any planning applications. I could find where you live. I could find... I'm not going to stalk you, Ben, don't worry. But you need to enable those...
The restraining order is still in place.
Is it still in place, that restraining order? Oh, God, I thought I'd outlived that. Multi-factor authentication. Don't get irritated with it. Go into your settings and enable it. You've got to have that enabled. Don't respond to unsolicited texts. Set up a PIN with your mobile provider. That's a really important one. If they offer, go onto your mobile network provider website, see if they offer any extra layers, like another PIN, that when you talk to them, you give them that PIN.
So when
and
they phone, they say, right, give
that.
us your PIN number and then we know it's you.
Yes, exactly. We have to do as much as we possibly could. And just one extra thing that we have so many software updates coming through at the moment. You've got to do them. And it's irritating because you've got to be connected to Wi-Fi. Phone's got to be switched on. It takes a certain amount of time. Do your software updates because they're protecting you. They are protecting you. And there's a brilliant site called Have I Been Pawned? PWNED. And you can find out if any of your apps and websites have been subject to a data breach.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, it's really clever. I'll put it on my...
Yeah, please do.
Any other advice you'd say, Ian?
Again, just a couple of quickies from me. Firstly, the rules of my mobile service provider said that if they sent out a duplicate SIM, that the first SIM should have been stopped, which would mean your phone would stop working. That wasn't done in my case. So although a duplicate SIM had been sent out and somebody else was using it, as far as I was concerned, it wasn't an issue with my phone.
No, your phone was still working.
And that would have bought me another 2-3 weeks worth of time to have stopped and closed things down. The second thing is, as we've said there with the PIN, what you've got to do after all this is closed down and sorted out is to start reopening everything again. So you need a new email address, new phone number. You've got to think up new passwords, and you've got to contact your various banks and credit cards. Big difficulty I had, and that took me probably 4 or 5 months to do overall to get things back up and running. The big issue I had was you would ring up the credit card or ring up bank account. They didn't know whether it was you or the fraudster that was actually ringing them.
Of course.
And there was a number of instances where one card in particular wouldn't speak to me for 3 months because the rector couldn't pass the security question.
And you wish that had happened in the first place.
Yes, that would have been amazing.
Why weren't you this?
You did good, Ian.
Well, look, we're glad you sorted it out, and thank you for bringing it to our attention. Alice, thank you for sharing as well, because undoubtedly it will make a big difference. People will hear that because we didn't know about it.
And it affects everybody, anybody who's got a mobile phone.
Thank you both.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
First, though, after tragic circumstances left our next guest homeless at just 15 years old, he went into survival mode, which prompted him to start his very own gardening business.
Well, 19 companies and a collaboration with Sir Richard Branson later, Simon Squibb is now a millionaire who dedicates his life to helping people's dreams become reality.
Excuse me, do you guys have a dream?
Oh, she has a dream.
You have a dream?
I do have a dream.
What is it?
I want to be a singer.
Okay, sing.
Oh no, I'm shy. That's why my dream hasn't become reality.
9.4 million people follow me online. Last video got 65 million views. This is your chance to get noticed, get followers, and your dream to begin. So sing.
Well, the money that you give me is my business money.
Yes. What business would you do?
A pastry shop.
Oh, lovely. If you cook me and my team some pastries, and I like them, I'll fund your shop.
What?
We have approval from the big boss. Okay, tell me your dream.
My dream is to make a clothing brand. I haven't gotten like the registering or like trademark for it yet.
Here's the money for the trademark. So you've got some money to start your dream. Delete those games, by the way. Don't play those anymore. They're going to distract you. Business manager, right? There we go. Done. A business is born.
They're amazing, amazing videos. So I urge you to go online and find Simon and watch some of the videos. He's penned his first book as well, What's Your Dream? And you join us now this morning. Simon, lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good morning.
I've been watching your videos for a couple of years now. They've been popping up on my feed. I'm always fascinated by where the essence of what your question comes from and your history. Because, as we said in the introduction, you're a very successful businessman, family man, but your story is not an easy one, is it? You sort of had a great upbringing, but then suddenly this tragedy in your teenage years. Just explain a little bit about what happened to you and how bad things got.
Yes, I'm still feeling a bit emotional after watching this video because I know all those people and their dreams. But I was 15 years old when I was forced to become an entrepreneur. It wasn't a choice for me. When I was at school, I never was taught entrepreneurship. And now entrepreneurship is a very prevalent word. But when I was younger, I'm showing my age a bit, it wasn't really. You were an entrepreneur if you couldn't get a job. Yeah. So back then, it never really crossed my mind. And then, unfortunately, my father died suddenly of a heart attack. And a few weeks later, I found myself homeless. And I tried to get a job. But at 15 years old, everybody knows you can't get a job either.
Sorry, Simon, you find yourself homeless because you had sort of a big falling... I mean, it was a traumatic, emotional time for all of your family.
Yes.
You had a bit of a falling out with your mum.
Yes.
So you left home.
Yes.
And which is why you suddenly found yourself homeless, trying to work out how to survive on the street.
Yes, exactly, yeah. I think I always caveat this with, I was homeless for 8 weeks. So I wasn't institutionally homeless. I think homeless has lots of different types of homelessness. I find myself basically living rough for about 8 weeks, and I stayed on friends' couches, and people were kind and took me in, and I stayed in some family friend houses, and I managed to get myself off the street. But basically, I tried to get a job to sustain myself, and I couldn't get one because you need a national insurance card to get a job, and you need an address to get a job. So I couldn't get a job. I tried begging on the street, and that was really, really awful, of course, as you'd expect. And I basically realised that I have to do something. I describe this moment, the entrepreneur muscle woke up in my brain. Everybody listening's got this muscle. It's just whether or not you've woken it up and or use it. So this entrepreneur muscle is what creates this sofa. You have an idea, you make it real. This sofa we're sitting on was in someone's head once, and they made it real. And so I suddenly walked past a big house, and they had a messy garden, and my brain said, this entrepreneur muscle got used for the first time, and I said, they've probably got money to pay me to take care of the garden, and I desperately need to earn some money. So I took all this courage, and I knocked on the front door, and the person who answered, I said, I'm Simon Squibb, I've got a gardening company. You know I didn't. Is it possible I could take care of your garden and you pay me? And they said, sure, how much? And I just made a number up. I said £200 a month. Luckily, I said per month, by the way. I teach about this in my book. You know, you've got to think long term, not a one-off fee.
Yeah.
I said per month, and they said yes.
Yeah, and they let you use the tools that you didn't have either.
Exactly.
To be able to do other people's
You've
gardens.
read the book, which is awesome. Thank you for doing that.
And then, of course, you hadn't worked out that there was a winter.
No, I didn't realise in England we had a winter, which I don't understand, because I had been alive 15 years at that point. So I don't know why, but yeah, the winter came.
So then what happened?
Well, I basically built it up. I employed some of the homeless folks that I built up friendships with, and they helped me with the gardens, because it turns out I'm also a bad gardener. I didn't know that until I started doing gardening, and I managed to build it up, and I had money coming in. I got myself a house in a HMO, a shared room in a house, and I was free. I had a little business and it was working, and then, the rain started coming, and then everyone said, oh, we're not going to do our gardens now, Simon. So my first big business lesson, which is basically you've got to think long-term about your business, and the business had to stop, and I then had to get a job. But by that time, this entrepreneur muscle in my brain had woken up.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to help everyone do, wake up that entrepreneur muscle in their head so they have more options in life.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I got from the book as well is to not fear failure either.
Right.
You just spoke about there, you built up this business, you almost did the impossible, coming from being homeless and 15 years old, no equipment, you did it, and then it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But it's what you learn from those moments. And you actually talk about Jamie Oliver in here. And we've had Jamie on the show before.
I'm a big fan.
And he'd be the first person to sit there and go, you know what? I made mistakes, but I absolutely learnt from them.
Yeah, I think the thing is, what people don't realise is that fear is a superpower that we all have, and we're not leveraging it right. In the modern age, we think, oh, I feel fear around something. Someone asks you to do something. Like I was asked to go do a TED Talk. Instantly, I felt fear. But I said yes.
Yeah.
Because fear is actually a superpower. It's like what it used to be is a lion's coming running towards you, you can run faster, you can think differently. So you need to feel fear to push through risk, because it's not the harder you work, the luckier you get. It's the more risk you take, the luckier you get. So if you can build up your fear, then you can take more risk, and that means you're saying yes to more things, and then later in life you don't have any regrets because you tried to do everything you should have done.
So you make it sound so easy.
Well, there's a lot of
it really is
perseverance
actually
and
a lot.
relentless energy.
Yeah.
But you then created this huge business, Fluid, which then became a hugely successful business, and you've since, I think, over 19 other businesses that you have created and invested in. And one of the things that you're really passionate about now is helping people achieve their dreams.
Yes.
The clips that we showed was you just walking around, going up to people and asking people, what is your dream?
Yes.
I find it absolutely fascinating, the amount of people that you meet and you bump into and the range of dreams that people come up with. What have you been struck by with regards to meeting general public and introducing this as an idea on social media, Simon?
I think the thing is, what's really exciting is that you walk past some people you think have no dream. And so I walked past a guy, he was actually in the bins. I don't know what he was doing. You'd normally walk past this sort of person and be a bit scared. And I stopped and asked them their dream. And the dreams just blow me away. I mean, when you talk to people about their dreams, their eyes light up. Something changes in people when they talk about their dream. The problem is a lot of people don't think they're possible. They have what we call limiting belief systems. So they think, for example, starting a business is harder than working for someone else, which it's not true. It's not true. But people have these belief systems that they're so sure are true that they don't follow their dreams. And so, again, I tried to talk about this in the book, remove these limiting belief systems. But when people have a dream, that literally I can tell it's what they're meant to be doing, but people aren't necessarily anymore doing what they're meant to be doing. And I want to change that. I want to help people realise they can do anything.
And when you say you want to help, I mean, you bought a staircase.
Yes.
you put a Ring doorbell in
Yes.
there. And so anybody can go.
Yep.
They can talk to you about their dream and you help them make it happen.
So here's the beautiful thing. It started out, really, I just wanted to help the 15-year-old me.
Yeah.
And when I left school at 15, I realised I'd been in school 12 years and they hadn't taught me any of these things that were all teachable. You know, how money works, how sales work. Anyone can sell. Sales is how you get free. Teaching people that they can make an idea in their head and make it real. None of this was taught at me at school. So my original idea 5 years ago when I started this was just to help the 15-year-old me. It was quite a selfish endeavour. But I needed to find out what people's dreams were so I could help that 15-year-old me. But I've noticed now that, what's like with the doorbell, what's happening is we put this doorbell up in Twickenham and we said, if you've got a dream and you can't find me, there's only so many places I can be at once, you can now go to this doorbell and press it and pitch it. But here's the beautiful thing. When we put the dream up online, it's no longer just me helping, it's the community online helping.
Right.
So people have put their dreams up online, they've got funding in the comments, they've got a client in the comments. We just recently, a lady called Emma Wills, she got 300,000 followers now supporting her. She wanted to be a clothing social media influencer. She was getting on a bus, I asked her, now she is. In 24 hours, we've helped become what she wants to become. It's still up to her. But I think it's the community side that really excites me now.
Yeah.
like, and with the doorbell, so Richard Branson is now
it's
also...
contagious, this energy
no,
that
it's
you
true.
have.
Yeah, now
Richard Branson.
he's such an icon for me.
Yeah.
When I was 15 years old, he was the only person I could reference. When I said I was an entrepreneur, people would say, you mean you can't get a job? And I'd be like, no, like Sir Richard Branson. And now he's working with us, and we've put a doorbell on the Virgin Hotel in Shoreditch.
Yes.
And from Friday at 9 a.m, you can go there and pitch to that doorbell, and myself and Richard will react to your dreams, and we're both going to promote you on our social medias. So this thing's growing, you know, it's the community growing, helping people's dreams, not just me, which is the bit I'm really excited about.
I think that thing, that the word that Kat used that's so relevant, it's so contagious.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
Helping people sort of leads to helping people, and that community builds, and it becomes something that builds that momentum. It's really incredible.
Really true.
Yeah.
Simon, love it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
And thank you for coming on the show today.
Pleasure.
There's an audiobook as well, which is great, that you read. Simon's book, What's Your Dream, is out tomorrow. It's just busting
Honestly,
myths. Get on
I'd urge
with
you to
it.
find
Do
Simon
it.
online as well and just watch some of the interactions that you have with those people. Because there was the woman that you've been talking to recently that's got her patties that are now she's done £30,000 worth of sales just from talking to you about the fact that she wanted to launch a patty business.
Oh, you should follow her too. I watch her videos every day. Her energy for doing what she loves. She's made vegan patties, for those that don't know, that basically are nutritious, tasty, and they make you healthy. For her, they made her healthy. So she wanted to make them for other people. But yeah, she's managed to get into 30 stores, and every single day she's on social media, dishing out her vegan patties, living her dream. It's just so inspiring. I get a lot of inspiration from the dreamers themselves. I watch them go for it. They have a bit of luck. We all need a bit of luck. So you could argue getting on my channel is a bit of luck. But you have to leverage that luck. You know, and that's
You've got to make the luck work for you, haven't you?
Totally.
Simon, thank you. Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
We're having presents already, and we haven't even started
This is
chatting
amazing.
yet.
So hold on, Maggie, you've just given me this, or I pinched it. Tell me what's in here.
So 2 bracelets that I made and some confetti things from...
Actual golden buzzer confetti. That is really precious. That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, and then Katie just gave me a headband as well that one of the mums has been making. Is that right?
We've got loads of those.
Love
Gorgeous.
it. Love it. Thank you so much. Well, we've been joined now by Electric Umbrella founders Tom Billington and Mel Boda, alongside some of their incredible bandmates, Katie, Jamie, Maggie, Jonathan and Raphael. First of all, have to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I mean, it was the most spectacular piece of TV. You were sat there with your kids.
Yeah.
I was sat there with my kids. We were all crying, all cheering.
You made us cry.
It was brilliant.
Thank you.
It was just the most remarkable thing
so
to
much.
watch. It was so
Yes.
joyous. How did it feel for all of you guys?
It felt like we've been doing this for 10 years. So every day we're out in schools, we're bringing people together, we're running sessions, we're building instruments, we're reimagining things and people and writing songs and all that. And that happens all day, pretty much every day of the week.
Yeah.
So for us, it was like a real moment of coming together, that all of that, suddenly people are starting to see us, see our guys as the rock stars that we actually are. And just, hopefully it'll mean next time they're interacting with someone who looks or sounds different or has a different a way of working, that they'll just have that little bit more of understanding of what it's all about.
But there was all of you on the stage as well, which was so powerful. And the fact that you did an original song as well. What was the song called and who wrote it?
What was the song?
It's called Acceptance, and it's basically all of our... And I start the first line.
I know, Katie. You were the first person to start. Were you not terrified?
A tiny bit terrified.
Oh, would it be really?
It's a tiny bit.
Because there's so many people out there as well. What did you think when you went on the stage and you saw all the audience and all those people?
It was very excited because you wouldn't expect such a big crowd of them to watch us, but it was very good and everyone had fun. So.
Listen, they didn't just watch you, they stood up, they clapped, they cheered,
they sang.
cried, they loved it. They didn't just watch you.
Now, you were sitting in the audience, of course, right? And you have helped create Electric Umbrella. And I can't imagine how nervous you must have been, like a sort of expectant mum sitting and watching your family and you're there performing, and then to feel the energy around you must have been just fabulous.
It was amazing. I didn't actually know what to look at. I actually didn't watch the performance. I was watching the reaction of the audience, and it was the feeling, the energy in the room that we could really feel it. Everybody was stamping their feet. Felt like, you know, this thunder for Electric Umbrella. It was so exciting, and I felt it was shocking. There was like a lag between everybody celebrating and me thinking, ooh, what's happening?
Yeah. And Jonathan, Mel just said that it was shocking. Did you ever expect Simon to stand up for the second time and press that golden buzzer?
Never in a billion years, triple billion years. I love Simon, and I love him even more now. I can't even, my brain can't even process it yet.
Yeah.
It's just wild to me.
Jamie,
it really is.
We were watching you perform on Saturday, and it was spectacular watching you. And I know that you think the way you look is important, isn't it, for a rock star?
Yeah, it is.
What did you think watching it back? How did you feel?
The way I feel is like being a rapper, like, because I made some in this book.
So you've got your raps there?
Yeah. And
Doesn't go anywhere without it, do you, Jamie?
Yeah. And also, like, the way I feel, like, about that buzzer with someone called Man, it's like my idol. Yeah.
And he's put you through to the
I
semi-finals
know.
as well.
He's actually quite a softie, I think,
Yeah.
Simon Cowell. Do you know
Despite
what I
the
mean?
hard exterior.
He pretends to be really tough, but I
Yeah.
think he's actually quite a softie. Maggie, what was it like for you? Was it beyond your wildest dreams? And how were Ant and Dec with you? Do I need to phone them up and tell them? Were they behaving themselves?
Yeah.
What was the moment like when he pressed the buzzer and all the glitter started coming down?
Well, I thought he was going to say, sorry, I can't give you a golden buzzer. So it was all an ultra shock for me. But when he did, I was just really excited with everyone and immediately went to get some.
There was a great sense of togetherness, I think, is what we can all say.
Yeah.
That the young people from the school that were with us and our guys, we've all become very, very comfortable in each other's presence. And that, I think, really came across. You can see how cool that all of these kids were amongst all of us who are just these kind of, like, gregarious, different, we all look different, we all sound different, but the work that we've done in this, particularly in this one school, but in schools in general, has really helped for these young people to really kind of understand us for who we are.
I think it's a wonderful blend of lots of people from different backgrounds, different experiences. Raphael, you've been part of Electric Umbrella for quite a while now. What is it that you love most about being with these guys?
Well, it's just so amazing to be with them. They just teach you so much. They teach you that you should never judge people by their appearances and you should always accept them for who they are. And it's just amazing to have them in our school and, yeah, it's brilliant.
Where were you watching when the show went out live? Were you with your family? Were you all together?
We actually went to the Warner Brothers studios to watch
Yeah, Warner Brothers.
You went to the Warner Brothers studios?
We're from Watford.
Of course,
It's at Leavesden. So, yeah.
Wow.
So we were looking for a space where we could all get together and someone at Warner Brothers said you can come and...
Pretty rock and roll.
It was lovely, wasn't it?
That was so nice of them it was so nice of them to allow us to be there and watch it rather than...
Have that moment together.
Have that moment together, because it wouldn't be like that if it didn't happen.
So did everyone have a pint of butterbeer while you were watching?
It wasn't quite like that.
It wasn't.
It wasn't quite
I like the
like
idea. But the question is, so I'm semi-final.
Yes.
Semi-final coming up.
Because the song was one that you wrote yourself, which was a fabulous song anyway. I mean, it's a brilliant pop song. We've got Deacon Blue coming in later. You must speak to Ricky and Lorraine
should do a
about
cover.
it.
It'd be great.
They're over there. I'm
Yeah.
sure they've seen it, but it's a beautifully constructed song anyway. What about the semi-final?
The great thing about Electric Umbrella, dare I say it, is that we've got so many good songs. We've been releasing stuff since 2017. Our first record came out, and we have got so many choices. So actually, we're a little spoilt for choices at the moment. So we'd be interested to see if people listen to our stuff, see which one they think we should do. We've got a pretty good idea of where it's going to go. We've got about a month now to kind of get that together. Easter kind of lands in the middle of that, so we've got to work around that. But
so not too much chocolate then, because you've got a big performance.
We've got a lot
to do.
Jamie, try and keep Jamie off the chocolate.
That's true.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Well, we can't wait to see what happens next, you guys. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
It was a
and
very,
enjoy
very
every
special
single
moment, as Britain's Got Talent can do. But to meet Electric Umbrella, what you represent and who you are is magical. Can't wait to see what's coming next.
Yeah.
So thank you all for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As well.
Cheering you on for sure. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Britain's Got Talent continues this Saturday at 7 p.m. on ITV1.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Before we show pictures of Amel at her lowest weight, just want to warn you that these are distressing. So let's to have a look at those. This is Amel at her worst. And though we are now very happy to report today that Amel joins us now to tell us her story, which has turned out very, very well for her.
Oh, gosh,
Amel,
no.
can you recognise the emaciated version of you there? Can you recognise yourself in those pictures?
Well, when I look at those pictures, I look at them and I just don't feel like I'm looking at myself.
Good.
It feels like another girl. Like, back then I didn't realise how bad I was, but now when I look at the pictures now, even when I saw them on that, I just think,
so
was that
do you
me?
think as well with your family now, when you realise, when you're looking at them now, your family were watching you disappearing like that before their eyes, becoming so ill that they must have felt very helpless?
Yeah, they used to like beg me to just, oh, please get better and I couldn't see
So
what they
what were
could
you
see.
seeing when you were looking in the mirror? What were you seeing?
I mean, I did think I was slim, like skinny, but I didn't think I was like that, like
emaciated.
Yeah.
I mean, you were near to death, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, at one point my heart stopped and I was rushed into resus and they brought me back, like they had to put adrenaline in to start my heart again.
It's very hard to look at you now looking so fit, so healthy, that you ever got that ill.
Yeah.
This, you say, started when you were a teenager, about 14, 15.
Yeah.
Was there one defining moment? What was it, do you think, that started you on this road with this unhealthy relationship with food?
Well, I don't know, to be honest, because everyone who knew me, I always loved food when I was growing up. I never had a problem with food, and but I've always felt like I was like fatter than everyone and quite chubby. And then it got to that age where everyone starts developing and start looking good, and you care more about what you look like and
getting boyfriends.
Yeah,
and things.
And I just thought, well, you know, I want to look good, like, you know, fit and healthy. So I went to the gym and I joined the gym, but it just, you know, it got out of hand. It just, like, when I went to the gym, but I wasn't losing weight, I thought, well, what am I doing wrong? You know, why ain't it working? Because when I joined the gym, my aim was just to lose weight.
So you were obviously sick, right? Well, we understand the whole condition about anorexia and how much of it is formed in your mind and whatever. How did then social media sites start to begin to make you think differently?
Well, I first started just following people who had anorexia and they were having to eat. You know, they were like in hospital treatment and they were just like showing pictures of their foods, the meals they had to eat during the day, and it made me feel better because I was like...
This was people in recovery?
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I have to eat the same as them so I don't feel as bad. I'm not the only person eating like a bowl of cereal and 2 pieces of toast in the morning, you know, to gain weight. And then I like stumbled across some accounts of girls who were recovering through weight training, and they'd like put before and after pictures, and I was like, wow, like they look amazing now. And just, I don't know, something in me was just like, I really like that.
And obviously you
like
were
that.
a girl, young woman who liked exercise because you had enjoyed the gym.
Yeah, I've always been sporty growing up. Like I did swimming and dancing and everything.
If you hadn't have discovered those sites on social media that started inspiring you then to get better, what do you think would have happened to you? What would your life be like?
I probably wouldn't be here, to be honest. I mean, I was so, like, I've relapsed so many times, and the point, that time when I chose to recover because I knew my body wasn't going to last again. It was my last chance. Because even the doctors told me, like, they said, oh, you won't make it to your 21st birthday. Like they actually told my parents, like, you know, we'll tell you now. She's like one of the worst cases we've seen, and she's probably not going to make it to her 21st. And then it was my 21st birthday that I was laid in bed, and I thought, I'm literally like hanging on a string here, and I don't.
You then use that term. You say, then I chose to recover. A lot of people would say, well, things are beyond your control. It's out of control. You are where you are. But, I mean, again, I'll warn you that we're going to show you this before and after image. This is how bad Amel was, and this is what she transformed into. I mean, unbelievable. How do you choose? How do you put the brakes on? Do you think you were just lucky, or can anyone do that?
Anyone can do it, but what I say to everyone is it's got to come from you. No one can make you get better. I've had so much treatment for 7 years. People were forcing me to get better because I didn't want to recover. Never happened. The day that I chose to get better, that's when I got better. So anyone can recover from it, and that's what I want to like show people. Like, I didn't even do it through hospital. I didn't have any medical treatment. I was on death's bed and I got to where I am today on my own because I was determined.
And you are now training, aren't you, to become a personal trainer?
I am, yeah. I haven't really told anyone, but yeah, I was at uni, but I just, in my heart, I was like, I really want to, you know, do a career in like training and stuff. So now I'm training to be a personal trainer.
What would you say, Mel, to anybody watching? And we often talk about girls, but boys, anorexia too. Anybody out there who has a similar problem to you that can't ever imagine themselves recovering, what would you say? What would your message to them be today?
You can do it, like, believe in yourself, because there was once a time where I never, ever believed I would recover. It just wasn't even, I couldn't even imagine it, and I did. So I'd just say, you know, just keep believing in yourself and find something that you're passionate about, that you love more than your eating disorder.